Joey Meyer, and his pretty famous. Dodson, Dave Stewart, like Dave Sutcliffe, good. Red Baron, Scott Peterson, both those. Watch it for the ups. Who got the top was there? That's exciting.
I'm not doing this because I want to take long showers with you assholes.
Ain't you them kids that have been quacking off in my tool shed?
By a bunch of fargan ice holes like yourself.
Yeah, well, listen, you ought to just stick the H in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later.
Oh, my God. There's 100 morons in my basement.
It's you, Larry.
Lollygaggers. Diamond dogs have struck again.
Real pretty.
No, they could be a lot worse.
Why did you kiss my ear? Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
4 of us wolves running around the desert together in Las Vegas looking for strippers and cocaine.
1, 2, 3, Transformers!
Live from Scott's parents' basement, this is the Basement Benchwarmers Podcast.
The Basement Benchwarmers Podcast back again this week with, I was going to say, tell people, everybody, you need to wake up the kids, call the grandparents, call the parents, anybody you know. It's time for us to tell you how to win your fantasy leagues. The Benchwarmers are going to tell you how to win tonight. Tonight, they're going to tell you how to win your fantasy league. And if you don't, it's your own fault because you're not listening or watching right now. That's the problem, right?
There's some fantasy talent here.
Yes.
Draft Jordan Love.
Oh, that's the show, guys. Have a good one.
Kickers go fast.
So let's start out the show how we normally do, how everybody was the past week. Eric's back this week. Ed's here. Petey's back joining us. I think Will's coming by. I'm not sure. He's probably lost.
Silver alert.
Silver alert, yeah. So let's start off how we always do. How was your week, Ed?
I had a good weekend. I went out with some good friends, and we ended up at a bar that shall remain nameless.
Gordy's.
Or Gordy's. No, I can't do my joke. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So, okay, perfect. With the Gordy's.
It was going to get worse, but yeah. I didn't want to name the bar when I started naming
Gordy's.
So I wonder, you were there, huh?
Yeah.
No.
I said good friends. I didn't go with you guys. I'm talking about Sunday.
Bloody Mary's he went.
So no story about you being almost late for the show or anything like that? I mean,
I think we were all going to be late for the show if we just stayed another 15 minutes there.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a late start tonight, a little later than normal, but hey, whatever. Scott, I'm all ears when it comes to your fantasy football strategy. Well, that's good.
Oh, thanks, Cam.
Thanks, Cam. So Eric.
He's drinking too.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
He's on something. We know what he's on, but that's okay.
I had a pretty good week. I haven't been on the show now in what seems like a year. It's good to be back.
Ratings are up.
Ratings are up. Yeah, I know.
Ratings
Ratings are up, and Willie looks a lot better.
We actually have some American fans now, not just Sweden and France and India.
He looks better and less freckles.
Well, they haven't been tuning in because I haven't been on the Swedish and French and whatever else you said.
I don't know.
India.
We're huge in Afghanistan.
All those woke Europeans. PD, how are you doing?
PD, how was your week?
Great. Fall ball started up, so add another sport to the mix.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not coaching it this time, so I get to sit and watch, which is more difficult than it sounds. Because I'm used to coaching everything, you know?
Yeah. Well,
kind of is what it is, though.
Is that it?
Big soccer weekend?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with my time, playing a soccer tournament for Wisconsin Southeast. That's how you say it, right?
The Battle of the Border.
Battle on the border.
Oh,
I say of
it could
too.
be Battle of, too.
Battle of the border, battle on the border.
Scott's looking for volunteers. I keep getting emails from him if you're interested in
battle in the border. I don't know what that means.
That's a good
battle on the border is up on 27th Street.
You guys trying to be,
every Saturday night.
Trying to be too cute with it, you know?
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk fantasy football to start the show. Maybe a little talk about some other thing maybe at the end, but we're going to devote the whole show to fantasy. So,
football.
Sorry,
football, right?
Fantasy football.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Then I'm going to change websites real quick.
He was just going to take Giannis again.
No, not Giannis. Not in this one.
So, in Eric's porn draft.
Why would you go there? Why would you think that?
It's not even Pornhub. He went
it
like
was
lowbrow.
Best books, fantasy books.
Anyway, so let's start off. So, real quick, I know we're kind of free. I was gonna say free balling,
freewheeling, man,
freewheeling here tonight. So let's start off. What is one of your fantasy draft? If you give a tip to people, one thing you would tell them. What's one thing you would tell people to do? Not a player, but a strategy, something you go by possibly that you sit there and look at. Ed, you got something?
Yeah, I mean, I like going running backs early. I mean, obviously, most people do, but it's hard. If you don't, you're kind of screwed after the first round.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot tougher.
Yeah,
I subscribe to that too, but I always want a top 5 QB. So I tend to reach sometimes, if it's 3rd, 4th round or whatever, but you want one of those top 5 guys. It's a lot of points.
P?
I tend to script out my draft, at least the first 5 rounds, based on what number I'm picking. We talked about this at the last podcast, but if you're picking early, there's specific running backs that are going to go. If you're going to pick towards the end, if you have a 10 team or a 12 team, if you're picking towards the end of it, I try to lump together the 2 guys that I want together that either mirror each other or kind of play off each other. Sometimes, pairing up a quarterback and a top receiver might not be a bad idea. But I try to script out the first couple of picks that I want to get. I'll go as far as the 5th round. So I've done that with one of the drafts, the snake draft that we're in. But if you're in an auction league draft, then it just kind of comes down to knowing what your needs are and targeting the right person. That has to do with tiering.
So if you're scripting, are you scripting tiers, or are you scripting like I used to do, is script and have 3 or 4 players on each side of that number. So if you're going to be at whatever 9 and say 21 or whatever it is.
So what I'll do is I'll look at a mock draft and I'll realize who most of the time is going to be gone by the time my pick comes. So then I'll script out, I'll kind of like lay out 4 guys that I wouldn't mind taking at that 9th pick. But then I also on the back end have the 15th or the 16th pick. So if I get a certain player, I might want to get, another running back. I might want to, try to pair him up with somebody. So like if I got Devontae Adams at 9, would I try to get Aaron Jones on the back end? Possibly, a top running back kind of. You don't necessarily want to load up on a position. So depending on how the draft's going to play out in my mind, I might try to script it as best I can. If that makes sense.
I like that strategy.
And this is my strategy. Everybody knows me. My strategy has been like this for years. I kind of opposite of Eric's. I don't go for quarterbacks early. I don't think it's worth it. The reason why, if you look, and now you have the exception of the rule with Mahomes, possibly, and maybe Allen. And there's guys, but after those guys, if you look at all the ranked past year's points, like go back to last year, running backs and receivers, number 1 to number 10 is a huge difference than number 1 to number 10 in quarterbacks. So if I go out and say I were to go out and draft Rodgers, okay, for instance, not even Rodgers, let's take another guy. Let's take a guy that would be in the top 5, like Lamar Jackson. Let's use Lamar Jackson example. Lamar Jackson, if he's the 5th best quarterback at the end of this year or 4th, his points will be not far from the number 10, where if I take the 5th best or 4th best running back, the 10th best, there'll be a big difference between 4 and 10 in running backs and 4 and 10 in receivers most of the time. And that especially stands true for tight ends. So if you want to go for that Kelsey in the 2nd round, that's fine, because Kelsey can actually be used as a flex. I mean, you could put Kelsey in a flex and feel pretty confident and go grab another tight end later. And if you want if you go out there and grab like a Tanyan or something and put him with them, that'll work great. But the quarterback thing is, I did it once in my life, and it was Tom Brady, and it wasn't near he got hurt, but it wasn't. He didn't do great for me. He was okay. He had a good year, but he didn't help me as much as that was the year after you might have threw 50. You might have been, and it didn't get hurt, but he was injury free year, but he didn't do as great.
So would you subscribe to the idea of tiering off the quarterbacks then? If you're not going to take, you're not going to take them in the first couple of rounds.
Well, I'm not kidding. I know for a fact when I go in drafts, I'm not taking a tier 1 quarterback. I know for a fact I'm not.
Right. But my point is, if you have 5 guys you think are all about even at quarterback or 5 guys at tight end, do you delay picking them until, there's like only one left in that tier?
Yes.
So basically you're just hanging on to those 2 positions until the guy that you just can't live without. The next tier down is so awful that you just don't want him.
Depending on how big the tier is for quarterbacks. If there's 5 quarterbacks in tier 2, then I'm looking maybe to take the bottom of tier 2 or the top of tier 3.
And so that can delay when you draft them, what round you're in, depending on where you are in the order, because teams aren't going to end up like if you're at pick 3 and the snake's kind of coming down to you, and there's only a couple of guys, that it can wrap around with 6 more picks.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you're doing, tiering.
Yeah.
Well, your tiers on quarterbacks right now, you're looking at from Lamar Jackson all the way down to Tom Brady, about 7 players. That's your tier 2 kind of, where they're all being drafted at about the same in average drafts.
Yeah.
So I mean that's 7 guys. You got a good shot at getting.
To be honest, if you weren't drafting this area, like a guy would pinpoint would be Aaron Rodgers, because he should be a tier 2 guy. But
not in Wisconsin.
That's the thing. That's the problem. If I'm drafting in Arizona or something, or somewhere, you're gonna see these other guys on this list like Mahomes, Allen, Murray, and Jackson go before him. Dak Prescott and maybe a Russell Wilson, but Rodgers would be a guy who would pinpoint. But you won't be able to. He'll go
in this state.
He'll go 3 in most drafts. He'll be 3rd or 4th quarterback easily, if not 2. I can see people taking him. I mean, and I think that's another thing we'll get into later when we move to different spots. But I that's why I like to do it, because Rodgers can have a great year, but I think they're going to run the ball more to goal line this year than they're going to pass, I think, because they had Dylan now involved and guys like that. I do believe that. And that'll, he'll lose maybe 5 touchdowns, 6, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He may not, but he may also, because they're going to use Dylan more. Dylan's going to be more part of the offense, I think, this year than he was last year. And I think he'd be a goal line guy more than not this year. Possibly. He'll take that Kuhn spot where Kuhn was that guy at the 1. They throw him in and he'd score. You know what I'm saying, though? He'll be that guy. That's what I think.
So do you put up a precedence or a priority on getting a quarterback that'll scamper in and run it in, like Lamar or the guy in Arizona?
Murray.
No, because I won't get him because I'm not drafting it. I'm not taking a quarterback that early.
That's first tier.
I just don't see those guys in the first tier. Maybe that's the issue I have with the idea.
Lamar and Kyler would be second tier. And
I bet
they're
you-
either back end of the first tier,
They're
or
gonna be.
yeah.
It's gonna be Mahomes and those
And
two.
Allen right after.
With Allen's top tier with
Allen's
Mahomes.
been
They're
a
putting him
top
up there.
a top quarterback in a lot of.
Justin Herbert's not a top tier.
No,
You don't
he
think he's
won't
top
be.
three?
And I'm
Rodgers,
not
no.
saying that I don't think he
They're all
is,
close for me.
but I'm thinking what you're seeing a lot of people's thinking. I would put Herbert in a high second tier.
Dak Prescott.
Prescott's a low first tier, high, and the reason he's in that tier if he's healthy is because of this. He is going to throw the ball a ton of that offense, and even with Elliott, even if Elliott has a great, their line's better this year. If he stays healthy,
Hopefully,
yes. And the thing about it is that last year and the year before, last year when he got hurt, he was like the second or third highest point quarterback at
He
the
was
time, and he
killing
was
it.
on fire. The team wasn't winning. I had him in that touchdown only league,
Yeah.
and he got hurt. And I still, if he doesn't get hurt last year, I still believe I win that
He had
league.
some 4 touchdown
Oh,
games.
he was
and
just every game.
Big,
he was
big plays too.
He was actually having better. He was like higher ranked than Mahomes at the time.
Yes.
they're saying he's dinged up right now, and his injury is going to be lingering all season. It's not something that you can get away from until you have total rest.
But I think with the
It's
receivers, what they
interesting.
have,
He's a
a lot
tough
of lot
call
of
this
lot,
year.
lot of rack,
Mhm.
Run after
yards
catch.
after catch,
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Nice
I
rack.
think CD Lamb's going to be a huge guy. I think Cooper's injured. I think the guy who's going to have a huge season. I guess talk about a good season. Amari Cooper has been banged up. He's kind of had this late surgery, like did the Thomas thing. And I think the guy who's going to be a guy you could look at is Michael Gallup this year. If Cooper stays at the side, I think Gallup and CD Lamb, I think could actually be a top 5 receiver when it's all said and done. I really do. If I drafted today, I would take Lamb over a lot of guys. I really would.
This segment was really about what kind of keys and tips you have for your draft.
Yeah.
And I think the point of our conversation right now is trying to figure out the tiers for the positions that you're going to be flexible within your draft. And so Scott was talking about the quarterbacks. As we're already discussing, you have to have your tiers set up before you go into the draft. It's as simple as just downloading a sheet off of CBS Sportsline or whatever resource you use, and just charting it out and just crossing off names during the draft. But
and I'll be honest with you, if you really want a quarterback, and that's fine. Eric wants to take a quarterback, but if you want a tier 1 quarterback and you're in the third round, let's say a third round, that's where I would say you could see these guys going. If they're gone by the time you pick, I'd take go look at your other tiers for running backs, receivers, even tight end at that point.
Yeah.
Because you can Kelsey's going to go obviously.
So that's another
late
tiered
first,
position,
early
though.
second. So you got to count. For me personally, if you're drafting 12th in a league, I think you take the best player available and Travis Kelsey if he's there, and he could be. I really do.
Well, I think Kittle and him are pretty close.
And I think you need a back. Like Ed said, I agree with that. If you can get a good back down there, like like right now, Saquon Barkley is falling down a lot of draft boards, which it's a knee injury, man.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Petey, if you're looking at a tier on tight ends, to me, Kelsey's in his own tier. Then Kittle and Waller.
I think Waller's ahead of Kittle.
But they're right there.
agree.
I mean,
well, let's do this. I'm sorry.
Well, Willie didn't get a chance to kind of give his.
Yeah.
tips
What is
for
Willie walked in. Willie's here. What is your like tip you do for when you draft? What is one thing you do? Not
he drafts in the leagues I've been in. Billy Sims in the first round almost every time.
Well, if you guys all recall,
Eric Kipple's a big backup quarterback,
right? But if you recall what I did last year,
punch the wall.
You start at
the bottom and you work your way up.
He punched
right?
the wall.
And it worked.
And you punch the wall.
Yeah.
And you get a little luck.
But you were in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I
'Cause
was.
It was just
In the
us. We
playoffs,
were the
that's
4
right.
in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey, to wrap up the. No, you go.
But
ahead.
I have nothing. I just kind of go off the seat of my pants.
Just like you do with the rest of your life, Willie. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Would you expect anything else?
Exactly. I think to wrap up your first topic here is that you got to. So there's so many different leagues, so many different scoring. Know your league. Dive into how it gets scored. I think maybe I've been in a lot of leagues where the quarterback's been, like Pete Lyons league, which is it's touchdown only and just more emphasis on the quarterback. So maybe that's why I trended that way. And it also worked.
That's a
it
great
worked
point.
for me too. If something works for you,
not to be funny, that's a great point because I have guys in baseball, and Ed will know, and Petey will know this. There's guys in our leagues that'll take Brewers over a better player sometimes. So if you're sitting there and you're going, well, I'm drafting after X, so the guy you're going at player X or whatever, and I'm like, well, he's 11, he's 12, and I'm 11 again. But you know what? There's a Packer there, but I want this guy. I'm going to take my chance. I'm going to get the guy I want because he's going to take the Packer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's
right.
So
Am I wrong?
No,
you're right.
Baseball. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen all the time. You can go, you know what? I can get this guy maybe. And you know what? If I don't get him, then I'll take the Packer then because I think Packers may be good. I'll get either one.
Sure.
So I'm going to have a chance to get my guy.
So, I mean, some guys do that because they want to watch the games and have a rooting interest
Yeah.
because otherwise you're rooting against the Packers when they play against your fantasy guy. And that's happened enough times where, you know, especially later in the season and stuff where games kind of mean something. You're like, you'd rather have the Packers win, but then that means you're losing your.
Because if the Packers win, you get a ring and money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
your stock might go up.
Oh, sorry. I forgot.
Well,
Pete, do you have stock?
I do not,
Do you
but
have
I
stock,
do
Eric?
have.
No, I don't. I don't.
I
but-
do. My dad has Lambeau Field turf.
Oh, that's
in,
cool.
in the freezer.
That's
Oh,
cool.
there's
then.
stock right there. That's,
But
an
that's
awesome.
different.
That's cool.
I think it's cool.
In the freezer.
Does he
I
have
love
stock
it.
though, your dad?
He does not.
If your
We-
dad, I wouldn't give shit to your dad 'cause I like your dad, so I would give shit to you though.
Well, my brother just texted me and said we're all a bunch of fantasy geek nerds because he doesn't really do fantasy. So
Well, then he should be listening and taking advice.
Yeah,
And
listen
maybe
and
he'll
get-
want to
tell
do it.
Jimmy, get
he'll
in the
be
league.
excited.
Jimmy, get
He'll
in the
want to
league.
get in the league.
Yeah.
He can win his league in his first year just by
Listen
this
to us.
advice.
Exactly.
he wants to know if you'll partner with him.
Yeah, sure.
But
So
not-
Jimmy,
not-
we have a draft coming up. You can partner with Scott. And sit
I
in
don't
that
care.
one.
He can be
There
with
we
me.
go.
Come hang out in the draft and see how it goes, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's really
He's
no
more than
reason to
welcome.
not do
He's
it.
more than welcome.
Parker's doing it.
I prefer him
Me-
over Pete any day.
Well, me and Jim can beat Parker and Petey. No.
Oh, no way.
way.
Wait till Parker gets on the horn. He'll chew
Parker
you
wants
out.
to take Kelsey the first pick.
No, he does like Kelsey, but
But that's not a bad pick.
no, it's
You can't
not,
argue
not
with
at
it.
the end.
we're picking at pick 10, I think.
Oh,
That's a good
he'll
pick.
be on the way back. Kelsey
Or,
might
no,
be there.
maybe 7 in that league. I think
Oh,
we're
then
at
that'd be
7.
tough. Yeah.
That's the other. Just one more thing. That's
Jim Harbaugh says I want Parker. Well, great. I've been kicked out. So
No, you and I will buddy up
yeah,
there.
there you go.
Let them have
Media,
our team.
yeah, it'll be over then, Petey. So let's talk about the first position. Let's talk about let's talk about tight ends. Let's go work our way up.
Oh,
to the,
Tight ends.
My
Hey,
favorite
we're gonna,
subject.
we're gonna go tight ends, quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. Kind of the order of how
Going
we
back
should
to
go.
our Gordy's day.
So the tight ends. So we had talked about. So right now, let's go around the room right now. And who is after Kelsey? Because we're all going to agree that Kelsey is the best tight end right now in fantasy. He might even be the 4th best receiver or 5th. Okay.
So I have a tier
So-
then. I have a tier of 5.
okay. So
A second tier is 5?
So let's do this. Let's do this.
5-man
Okay.
tier.
Let's.
Insane.
If you guys can name 2 or 3 or up to 5 who you would put
I have
after
5.
Kelsey. Okay. Name a couple guys. You can go up to 5. I'll go up. I got a list in front of me too.
On
so,
your second tier.
so if you're gonna go
Mhm.
after Kelsey, who would you take at tight end right now?
It's
And it doesn't. I'm not saying if you name somebody, we're going. Oh, you're taking them in 3rd.
no,
No.
to me,
How
I,
would you name them in order? It could be the 28th. Pick,
to
could
me
the
it would be
50th.
Kittle, Waller.
Okay.
That's it. That's the second tier.
And you can go with a couple more if you want. We're not going to
No,
say.
I
you're-
don't want
okay.
to.
Okay. And then,
that would be my second tier.
how about you, Eric? Who would you throw in there?
Well, I agree on Kittle and Waller, and those are 2 guys I have in mind. I think grabbing Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's going to be a 1st-round pick in a lot of, and I don't know if I would go Kelsey. So Kittle and Waller for me. There's been a lot of hype on Willie's guy, Hawkinson. I think he's
That's all they got.
potentially, he's potentially.
That's all.
gonna have a good
That's all.
season.
Hawkinson.
The-
Swift and Hawkinson. They don't even have a receiver.
Yeah, it's going to be Bocephus.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Quintez Bocephus.
Cephas. Yeah, I'm sorry.
the one area
That's great.
and I just had to deal with it because I had them in a keeper. I had Hunter Henry in a keeper league. I think there's too much going on there with Henry and Jonnu Smith.
Actually, John O. Smith, I think they like a little better. Or I
So-
think Mac Jones, if he starts, have been
So I made a
with
decision.
him a few times.
Even though I had Henry at like $10, I decided to not keep him. It wasn't worth
I
it.
honestly think that Henry, John O. Smith, they'll get drafted.
Mhm.
But I think though that's a situation of let's leave him on the waiver and see what happens for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I
Then let's
agree.
go make a fight for who's
Sure.
going to get him. Because are you going to draft John O. Smith or Hunter Henry? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but would you draft him as your number 1 tight end right now? There's other guys you know are going to start.
So I'm
are
going to
going to be
say
number
this.
ones, right?
Real-
Over them.
Real quick, I was listening to the Pat McAfee show online, and they were talking about
Who?
Pat McAfee.
We don't talk
Oh,
about
one of our
shows.
But listen
competitors.
though,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
listen though.
Great.
The-
Let's go to Burger King and say, hey, I love the Whopper. Or I love the Big Mac. I'm sorry.
You
Wrong
a
thing.
Cubs
It's a
fan?
song.
Oh, because sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but they said Belichick was talking to Zach Ertz before the preseason game that Philly had with New England, and he was joking around with them saying, "When are you finally going to come to New England?" Now, some people view that as tampering, and they kind of made a mention of that on the show. But if somehow Zach Ertz ends up getting let go from Philly, or maybe a 5th or 6th round
Well, you have
draft
to
pick or
trade
something,
him. You can't just let go of Zach Ertz.
I'm saying though, if he ends up in New England, that would really mess up Jonnu and
Henry.
I'm
so
going to
the
say
three-
Zach
the three
Ertz,
tight
if
ends.
Zach Ertz stays in Philly, he will end up with a better season than Dallas Goedert, I believe. Just because he was hurt, injured last year. The year before he was good, and he's looked good in training camp.
well,
He
you got a
stays
better
healthy.
quarterback too. Let's
Yeah,
be real.
and he stays healthy. So I think he's gonna have a better year than Dallas Goedert. I think it'll be close, but I think it's another situation. If he's healthy, it's a Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry thing there again.
Because teams are going to have to spy the quarterback there because he can take off and run. He's
Yeah.
super quick and
So who are your tier?
Mark Andrews got added into my tier.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like Kyle Pitts, strictly just on potential alone. I would be okay with any of the 5, including Kyle Pitts in maybe the 3rd round. I think I'd probably go wide receiver, running back, and then start looking at this tight end tier to the 3rd and even into the 4th round, right in there.
So your other one was Hawkinson then too?
Yeah, I'd
the last
Hockenson in
guy.
there, Waller and Kittle.
I like Waller over Kittle, but I like Kittle obviously. I like them both. I'm gonna actually. I think we forget about Mark Andrews a little bit. I think BD, you mentioned this a second ago, but I'm going to throw in as my 5th guy, and I think he's a kind of a stretch. It's going to be that kind of on the edge thing, but I think if you can get him and you want to take a chance, I think Noah Fant's going to have a good year this year. I really do. I think Noah Fant's going to have that year where it's going to be because he's due. It's his time, and he's had the targets. Now he has to just take the targets and use them. And the targets aren't all his fault. A bad target isn't his fault all the time.
The issue is
and
the
quarterback play will get better, I think. And Bridgewater's look great, I guess. That's the rumor.
I actually think that Tyler Higbee's got a better chance in outperforming Noah Fant just strictly because he's got a better quarterback throwing the ball. Stafford.
And Stafford does like the tight end. He's liked him. He liked tight end. The only year he doesn't like it is when he had the tight end that went to Ebron. He never used him, and then he left, and Ebron was awesome, and then he got Hockenson. I don't know. It's
His
weird.
wife's pretty hot too. The tight end.
But I do like Fant. I agree. And you got guys on the edge. Now, who would you use? I guess.
So are you looking at those guys ahead of Goddard or Zach Ertz then?
Yeah, because
you're not
for sure.
And all like Jonas Smith and all them, I'd be grabbing guys I know are the start. Even Kyle Pitts is going to be the starter. He is the starter. Although they have what's his name? Hayden Hurst, right? He's still there, but he's not going to get in the way.
So in my opinion, the 3rd tier is gigantic. I'll wait until around 8, 9, maybe even 10 to grab one of those guys.
Once those 5 or 6 guys we kind of mentioned in between, once they're gone, then it's one of those things. Don't even I wouldn't mess around. Take your handcuff a running back before you actually take one of those guys.
Yeah.
I'm honestly saying that.
You could probably have 6 or 7 guys and still have Fant.
Willie's got a couple.
Yeah, Willie, what's yours?
Well, what about Gesicki from Miami?
Had a good year last year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, they're throwing the ball to.
But would you put him in your top 5?
No. Well, I mean,
no,
probably not.
That's the thing.
But the thing is, you guys have all said.
Let's start then. Let's start with Willie. Okay, start.
The only guy we missed though is Jared Cook. He's now with the Chargers, and Herbert's throwing the ball. And
let's start with that then. Let's go to sleepers. So Willie, you start to sleepers.
Yeah,
and Gesicki would be a good sleeper, I think.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And do we want to count Gronk out already?
I would.
The only thing with there is the share there.
He'll catch them in the
share load there.
playoffs.
The share load is going to be tough there. There's so many guys that need the ball,
and they're saving his body. Let's be honest; they're not really featuring him.
Probably,
like they
you're right
the
there.
playoffs.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not going to get a lot of looks.
Why is Bobby Tonyan? I mean, just because
there's 4 tight ends in Green Bay, and I think any of them could step up.
And he caught a lot of touchdowns last year. That's what boosted the points. And is he going to get that many touchdowns?
And I think the receiving core got a little better with getting
6 receivers.
I was going to say Ray Caruth back. I don't know why I was going to say Ray Caruth.
Wow.
Wow. Carolina guys, I just whatever.
Not the same. One guy's a murderer.
There was something in his trunk.
One guy's a murderer.
I think it was him. I think it was him that was in the trunk.
Yeah,
they all look the same with a helmet on.
I mean, Tanyan's not. I think he could. I wouldn't be against drafting him, but I don't think Tanyan's a sleeper anymore. Just as we did last year.
Well, okay,
he will be taken. I will tell you right now. In any draft you do, he will be a top 5 or top 6 tight end taken. There will be no doubt.
In the state of Wisconsin,
yes.
But it
Your
seems
drafts.
like in the rankings,
I think
he's 13, 14.
He'll be taken in top 6. Do you disagree, Petey?
I really hope I disagree. I mean, I really hope it doesn't happen because we already talked about the top guy. And
he will be taken over Hockenson. I guarantee in a lot of leagues. You watch because nobody trusts Detroit. But I think
my second tier at 5
player. I think he is.
My second tier at 5. If you throw Kelsey on top of that, there's no way that he doesn't go until pick 7 at the earliest.
Well, let's mark that. I think he's gonna be top 6 tight ends. Tight ends, not top 6, but top 6 tight ends. And
in the draft,
at least one of our drafts, at least one of my drafts, it'll happen.
Unless you're taking,
and I do 6 drafts, and the auction don't count, so I do 5 drafts besides that. So he'll be taking
5 leagues. How do you
6 leagues? 6.
How do you manage that?
He doesn't win any.
That's
of them,
another
so
topic for later.
Yeah,
there it is.
What'd you say?
I said you don't win them though. I'm just.
How many did you win last year?
The year before I made 2 championships and 4 out of 6 playoffs. No, 5 out of 6 playoffs. The last year I made 3
What
out of
kind of
6
dopes
playoffs,
are in those leagues?
and I didn't win any.
But hey, last year you won the pick 'em. That's all you need. To
I won
win.
3 pick'ems last year.
Did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
so I made my money on pick'ems. So.
Yep.
Were you
They
riding?
asked. They asked. I'm just explaining
All
what I
right.
did.
You
We're
ride
happy
Miami
for
again?
you.
You always ride Miami.
Oh, where's the
Miami.
Dolphin?
The
Oh.
Dolphins.
Oh, I don't have the Dolphin. I don't.
Oh.
I gotta get it back on here. So,
I got some sleepers.
oh yeah, sleepers.
Yeah,
I'm
tight
sorry.
end?
I'm
I
sorry.
still, yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry.
I like Ish Smith
Oh yeah, there you go.
in Minnesota. And what's with Evan Ingram? Why is he not
Irv Smith?
Irv Smith?
Oh my
Did you
God.
say if?
Ish. Is it
Did
a
I say-
basketball
did I
player?
say- I did say that, didn't I?
You did. He's like, oh, ish.
I don't even have my magazine out or anything.
And
Jesus.
the worst thing is I agreed. I was like, yeah, Ish Smith. I like that.
I didn't think about it. I was just reading. But anyways, no. And then the other one was, what's wrong with Evan Ingram? He was supposed to be the breakout star for like 5 years now.
They have no pass. I mean, no offensive line, so it's just a scramble and throw. Plus, there's really no receivers, and
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who you
then
gonna
your
throw
stud
to?
running back is gone, and you don't have to really worry about the run.
Yeah, we'll see what Barkley back could be. How held. We'll talk about that in a minute, though.
Yeah.
So,
That's
anybody
a
else
pretty,
said?
actually, Ed, that's a really good call though, because if Barkley comes back strong, they could run like a double tight end set and then leak him out.
I mean,
him and Ish Smith would take
Jarwin.
Jarwin. I do like. People, I like Jarwin to have a bounce back year. Towards
I mean,
ACL.
I don't think
and
he's
he
gonna
tore
be
his,
huge.
and he tore his ACL in game 1, so it's not like he's had the time to recover.
Are you gonna throw like Jesse?
Jesse James?
Yeah,
Look at
Jesse
the
James in
Bears.
that too.
He's like their 4th tight end.
What about Eric Ebron?
Jarwin's probably going to be serviceable. I don't think he's going to be top 12 or 15 even.
Is he in Dallas?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I think
think-
he's right around that, though. I think he's going to sneak in there.
I think Cole Kmet. It was a good bye week
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah.
A bye
Yeah,
week
I like
replacement guy, I think, this year. And he may have a, if you
Yeah,
get
he's
him,
pretty solid.
he'd be a good.
I'm just-
I think he'd be a good dynasty guy.
Are there rookies that we're missing right now?
None of
Oh,
hold on
no,
real quick
just
though.
Pitts.
The kid from New Orleans, you like?
None of
Yeah.
these guys are
What was
getting
his name?
drafted though. that you're
Oh, I
talking
got it
about.
right here.
Is it
These are all waiver wire
Troutman
pickups.
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Before your bye week.
Yeah.
I mean, most-
Troutman.
Troutman,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
yeah.
Troutman. Yeah, Troutman.
The leagues that you guys are in, you're taking one tight end.
Well, I don't know if you saw the other night, but the
Right.
kid from Pittsburgh.
Pat,
I'm sorry, the kid from Pittsburgh caught 2 touchdowns there.
Fryermuth.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
the starting team in the game. Juju was in the game. Claypool was hurt, but Juju was in the game. Ben
Roethlisberger.
who's the other receiver? That Williams, right? No.
Yeah.
No.
Washington.
Washington. Yeah. He was in the game, and then it was with the starting team, and he scored 2 touchdowns. So that's a little. You're welcome for that one, guys. That's a freebie. The rest you got to call my line and pay.
Eric was
there you
Eric, what were you asking?
Eric, I'm sorry.
What was I asking?
Like,
You're
no,
asking about taking 2 tight ends. or
Oh,
you
so
just-
no. Okay, so I was asking you guys a question. The leagues that you guys are in, are you taking? I mean, you basically one tight end,
One tight end and waiver wire.
I
out.
waiver
agree.
wire. Yeah,
one tight
and
end,
that's-
one kicker, and one defense.
That's same for us. Pete's league, you take
You have to take.
you take 2.
Some,
yeah.
'Cause
sometimes
you get one draft and that's it. And then you get the rookie pickup
Yeah.
later.
Sometimes I'll draft 2 defenses to see which one's better based on injuries and stuff, and then that's
Mhm.
the spot that I'll cut to add players
yeah,
for the
because
bye week.
defenses are actually so weird. Like defense year before was good will be not as good the next year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what happens a lot. Okay, so let's move on to quarterbacks. The we were talking a little bit about them earlier. So let's talk about tier. Who talk about your top 5 and you can tier them out if you want from your top 6. You can tier them out if you want. That's up to you. Let's start with Eric this time at the quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes. I do like Josh Allen this year. I think there's going to be a lot of points there. I mean, he's obviously somewhat of a dual threat. I'm just gonna get Rodgers out of my head here. I think Lamar Jackson is going to get you a lot of points, so I think he's still probably in my tier 1. I'm going off the top of my head. I'm not looking at anything here. Yeah. I worry about Prescott. I had to make a decision on Prescott in a keeper league, and I ended up keeping him. I also have Rodgers in that league, and I have them both at a really low dollar amount, so it was a no-brainer. But I'm worried about Dak with the injuries and stuff like that.
Can you do trades in that league?
Yeah, we can definitely. Yeah, it's
Trey one was.
Well, he's on my block. He's already out there
Oh, I was
on the
gonna
block.
say,
Yeah, I
Trey-
mean, we just had to set keepers and our auctions
Oh,
coming
okay.
up, so
Uh-huh.
I think things will roll right. I'm going to
Yeah.
trade one of those guys for
Yeah.
sure. But I mean, that's kind of. I think it's Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen.
And you want to stick Rodgers in
I,
there.
he's
that's
Rodgers
it.
is more of maybe a little bit outside of that. I guess that's my top. That's my tier one.
He's
Those
not
three.
a bad
Those
pick
three
actually this year
You got
because it's
Rodgers
kind
in
of
the top tier.
No, he's outside of it.
Who's-
It's Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Petey.
Yeah, I have one big tier, one monster tier. Obviously, Mahomes is at the top of the tier, but I can go all the way down to on your normal list and stuff, all the way down to Russell Wilson and be okay. If Russell Wilson up, if I get one of those 10 guys, then I'll feel successful with a quarterback position. But I'm thinking by the 5th round, the 6th round at the latest, I have to have one of those 10. If I wait any longer than that, they're going to be gone.
So who are your last couple? Is it like Brady and Tannehill, Stafford type guys, or
Yeah, Brady, Tannehill, Russell Wilson's in there. Kyler Murray's probably in there. Below that, I mean, those are all going to be hit or misses. You're going to play matchups. So if I don't get one of those 10, then I probably have to take 3 crappy quarterbacks and try to get the best matchup for the week.
and that next group is pretty tough, man.
I
They're
know. Well,
wild cards.
Kirk Cousins, you can get stuck with him as a crappy quarterback. Joe Burrow.
Pete, where do you usually end up taking your quarterbacks in
round 5?
Okay.
So I try to get the 2 running back, 2 receiver, or 2 running backs, a tight end, a receiver, something to that effect. Because there's more receivers in the league than anything else. So if you're trying to put precedent on the other positions, obviously Ed said earlier, running back's the biggest one. But then again, you have to get a top receiver if possible in there because you don't want to have that whole position be garbage and then kind of work your way down. Man, I'm going to just struggle in my league if I keep giving away all my secrets here.
I know. Jeez.
So,
Nobody's listening, Pete.
Okay.
Jimmy is.
All right. I mean, I know you guys said Murray lower, but I mean, he's got some people to throw to this year, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, really.
Actually, Cam just asked about him.
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
put Kyler Murray.
No, I think I got to put him up there in that upper. Seriously, I mean, I think he might have.
The only negative, Willie, is the defenses in his division are tough.
Right, yeah, but he's got some better people to throw to this year, right?
I agree. I like Kyler Murray. Absolutely.
I mean, he's not my favorite in the world, but I just look at what he's got.
Yeah, he's in my top 10.
Right. So,
I'm
what
hoping he's number 1 this year because I do have him in
everybody,
Dynasty.
anybody throw Allen up there at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought so.
Those top 2, though, I think there could be people could be really let down if you're drafting them pretty high. You're drafting both those guys in the first 2 rounds, Allen and Mahomes. If they don't put up just monster
Usually,
numbers,
I think they're going to go 3rd round.
I don't know.
Allen would be 3.
And the
third
second
round.
Yeah, I think so,
Mahomes
yeah.
might create. It depends on the league. Mahomes is gonna
Currently,
creep in
right
there, like,
now,
second round.
Mahomes, an average draft position is going at the end of the 1st round. And Allen's going late in the 2nd.
So, yeah, I was going to say pick 22, 23, somewhere
what?
there when you can wrap around.
I took him last year in our league.
Josh Allen?
No.
Mahomes.
I have Mahomes.
Yeah, I think you did, actually.
You took him in our basement benchwarmers league.
How do you
'cause
remember?
You
How do you-
wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
How do you remember what round you took him in with your 7 drafts?
Yeah, that's he didn't remember really. You remember?
No,
he
I took him in our league too. The
In
other
the-
league.
in-
The
oh,
league.
you did?
League, yeah.
The
I'm
league
almost
league?
positive late. Or maybe I took him in another league. I know I took him in another league that a league I actually pay for. I took him and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I didn't win.
It's tough.
It was my worst.
Like you said, from the number 1 quarterback to the number 8, like say if it's Wilson or Prescott,
Yeah.
there's not that much difference.
Yeah, you can get Baker Mayfield like in the 6th round, probably, as like
easily.
the 11th or 12th quarterback taken. He'll be serviceable for you. He's going to have some big games, especially dumping the ball off to the running backs because those 2 can actually take it to the house at any time.
I mean, I took a quarterback early one time. It was Tom Brady, and he was out after the 2nd quarter, and I was just scrambling with like Schaub and guys after that. I never done it again. I always take guys like in the 7th or 8th round. I end up with Matt Ryan on a huge year, or there's guys out there.
Do you pick quarterbacks based on having a stud receiver like Kelvin Ridley? Because like I was just
No.
talking about Baker, and he's getting OBJ back. Odell Beckham.
No, I wouldn't. It's all a lot of it goes by the division. I mean, you're going to be throwing if you're going to be down all the time,
and by how good your running game.
It's kind of like
is.
Dallas. Dallas is going to be. They're going to struggle to win games, I think, and
They're going to throw the ball a lot.
they're going to have to throw the ball.
Like I'm not sure who's quarterbacking the Washington football team right now, but
Fitzy.
Yeah,
they got McLaren's on one side, and then they're drafting young guys on the other side. But they potentially
They got
wanna run
Logan
it.
Thomas at tight end.
I mean, it's a decent offense.
And they got a good running back, Antonio Gibson. They'll have
and,
good year,
and a
I
good
think.
defense. Give
He's
you a
good-
shorter field.
He's a good pass catcher.
Yeah,
That could
it
be
could
a-
be good.
a
I mean, that
team.
Washington team could be. They could win that division pretty easily after their
Are you
7
willing
and
to
9
Are you willing to go with Fitzpatrick though as your guy?
No,
Yeah,
he'll
he
have
makes too many mistakes.
He'll
Yes.
have 6 good games.
You
and
said
the rest
yes.
of the
You
season.
said no.
Nah, I mean no.
No.
I mean he'll have some good
Really?
games.
But
Yeah.
that division is such a mess. Who
I based it
knows?
on whether he shaves his beard or not. So
He's not
shaving.
going to.
Would you rather
Okay.
have him or Haskins like they did last year and they won the division?
Well, not because of Haskins.
No, Haskins didn't.
Haskins was only
No,
there first
'cause
few games.
They
Well,
rotated.
yeah.
They had like 4 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I know,
Alex
but
Smith
they-
played, then got hurt. Not hurt. Yeah, he got hurt.
They
But I'm
lived
saying
on
they
the
went
ball.
into the season with Haskins. They're going into the season with Fitzpatrick this year.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
Parker
gonna-
calls him Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Man,
He
you
likes
can't
him.
remember who their coach is. It's Riverboat Ron. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got Fitzpatrick there. I mean, those two guys are gonna like work well with each other.
They're a playoff team.
I'm going to tell you he's not a
Sure.
fantasy quarterback, but he might win you. He might get you into the playoffs and
So
real
then
football.
you would subscribe. He'd be one of your 3 like lower tier quarterbacks based on the matchup.
well, I'd take him over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, right.
Would you really?
How you like that?
in certain
if,
matchups.
if he's starting,
Oh, dude, he'll throw 4 touchdowns or 5 interceptions. It doesn't. You don't.
If he's starting, I mean, what's the difference?
And he's not afraid to throw the ball.
Yeah, and he
I just think Minnesota's weapons are better.
But remember,
That's
Minnesota's going to run the ball better.
Yeah.
I hope Gibson has a huge year. Obviously, I have him in a
Right.
dynasty.
Right. Well,
but-
people with Cook are saying the same thing.
But
So
Cook's,
they're in
Cook's
identical
outlook
situations.
is higher, and Minnesota's defense is going to be better this year, so you
Should
may
be.
not have to. Maybe even closer games where you might not throw the ball as much.
right,
because
because they had a lot of young corners and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that people picked on.
Can I throw out a few guys that are wild cards right now?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
we didn't
what's
do our
Scott's?
tier yet.
Oh, you have. Oh,
I do my tier yet.
Sorry.
Yeah. You didn't do your tier yet, even.
uh,
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
we
you're the
got it
last
covered.
one.
Well,
It's
Oh, no,
quarterbacks.
I started. Go ahead. What's your
There's like
tier?
50 of them.
Scott, what's
Obviously,
your tier?
Mahomes is top, but I put Dak Prescott right up there at number 2 over Josh.
Oh, I like that.
I do. I just like Dak
That's
Prescott
brave.
a ton. Dak Prescott, his numbers, he's just got such a good offense around him. And if they're going to be behind, they're going to have to throw and catch up, man. That's the thing. And he was averaging like 2.5, 3 touchdowns a game when he first got hurt last year. It was crazy, man. It was, and I know it was only 3 or 4 games, but still, I got hurt in October. So he's like 5-6 games in.
So
And he was on fire.
So you like
Kyler
my
Murray,
move as a
though, is
$5 keeper then? Dak Prescott is a
Yeah,
$5.
that's why I would try to trade Rodgers.
Yeah, and that's probably where
and
I'll
you might
go.
be able to get rid of him.
I-
But you got to make sure Prescott's
I want to
his
see where it
shoulders
goes.
fine. That's the thing.
It scares me a little. But go ahead. Who's your 3?
And I like Josh Allen obviously in there. I'm gonna put Rodgers in that group, and Herbert will be up there for
I
me
like
too.
Herbert.
Ed, who do you like?
Oh, I like all those guys. I mean, it's quarterback. That like
So
PD
who-
said,
who-
the
I
top
like
10 are.
these guys.
Did you pick any? Yeah, you did yours.
Yeah,
There's-
I
I
started.
mean,
So who you like as like guys you should maybe you could grab like after the out of those top 10 and not everyone wants to do that, but there's 2 guys I see on this list right now out of my top 10 that I would take in a heartbeat. I think this year would be no problem for me, and I think you can succeed with them both. But go ahead.
outside the top 10.
Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
So you're probably saying Stafford. And I don't know who your other one would be.
Well, out of my top 10, I have Stafford and Joe Burrow.
I was going to say Burrow too. Yeah, he's
Coming off an injury though,
but
too.
Burrow was it's a knee injury for quarterbacks. It's I mean, but he was throwing for 300 yards a game last year before he got hurt. I mean, and they're going to be with Cleveland. Oh, they're going to play better defense. They got Cleveland, and Pittsburgh in their division, and Baltimore. But he did well against. So he threw well against those teams. Now he has Jamar Chase, offense 1 year under his belt.
Mhm.
Same guy running the offense. I mean, and he seems like he understands the game. He didn't like get worse as the year went on. He got better. He improved every week. And now he's a sophomore. The sophomore slump can always happen. But I mean, I'm talking this guy to take if you don't get one of the top 10, like Petey said. Do you jump on and go, yeah, would you take Joe Burrow? I think you would. You'd be probably okay with it and see what happens. I think I would. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. I mean, you just brought up the sophomore slump. That's something I totally believe in because I've gone through it. Whereas and I just guy has a huge, and it usually is running backs. When a guy has 370 carries and has this huge rookie season, and then the next season he's hurt all the time. But so you got to look at the sophomore slump with potentially Herbert too. And that's what scares me a little bit about him. Burrow, not so much because Burrow was injured and he's had some time off. But I don't know. Who's the sleeper? Who's the sleeper this year for quarterback position?
The biggest one for me, and I saw the other day, I watched a little bit of it. Well, you were there. I think Zach Wilson is going to be very impressive.
Yeah,
he played really well the other day, and I was number
Packers,
2s, but he threw the ball well. I think a lot of the rookies. Hop asked a Fitz or a rookie QB. I'm taking rookie QB over Fitz. I'm not saying I would go after Zach Wilson. I mean, you can't draft Trey Lance or Justin Fields. You can, but I wouldn't because you don't know when they're going to start or play.
Yeah,
unless it says something right. Zach Wilson, and Trevor Lawrence are the starters. So I think I would take Zach Wilson right now over Trevor Lawrence. I think Zach Wilson has better weapons.
Sure.
With Corey Wilson and with
he sells cars.
Elijah Moore.
So they got better weapons there. I believe they do. Corey Wilson has already had like 12 targets in 2 games with Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson, they've only been together for like 2 quarters.
Sure.
So I think there's a trend happening there. And I think the Jets defense can be a little improved. I mean, you got a Saleh there who is a good defensive guy. They've always had solid defense. Just their offense has been god awful. And they got the rookie Michael Carter there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Zach Wilson, because now I'm not taking him. He would be I would take him as my second quarterback.
Oh, sure.
I'm not drafting him as my number 1, but I think to answer his question, I would take a lot of guys over Fitz. But if you had to take Fitz for a game, like we said, I think you said it, Eric. I think Fitz can blow up for you on a week by week if you have to grab someone like
he can.
He can have that 5 touchdown game, or you have the 4 pick game. But he's still. Here's the thing about Fitz: no matter what he does, he's still going to throw 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to walk off the field with no touchdowns, especially if he throws 4 picks.
He's
going to have to.
He's not afraid to throw the ball.
No.
Down, up, doesn't matter. He'll throw into traffic.
Yeah.
He's set for life. I mean, that guy.
Yeah. So anybody you see like off the radar, anybody else that might be
Tua. What about Tua?
Tua, yeah.
He's on a great team.
Yeah. I didn't like what I saw at the end of the year, but it's a new year. You got whole training camp. So now it's different. I mean,
it's just, can he come? What is this? His second year or third year? Second.
Yeah.
And he didn't start till game 5 or 6 last year.
So
or 7.
I mean, that's
like
one guy he's not even in the top 20.
Yeah. Well, you know who a guy we haven't mentioned? I mean, Pete, do you have anybody?
Well, Danny Dimes from the Giants. He could put up a lot of points because they're down, but if you're subscribing to the idea of a crappy, veteran quarterback, you got Carr, Cousins, Matt Ryan, Stafford, and Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger's going to put up points
I'm
too.
putting Stafford out of that loop. I'm putting Stafford up there this year.
Yeah,
and if Roethlisberger's healthy, he threw for 2 touchdowns right in a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to throw the ball too. He's kind of like Fitzpatrick, but a little better than Fitzpatrick. He's the same concept, but he's a big and he's got good weapons.
I like Matt Ryan better than those guys again. Doesn't do what they're running. I mean, is their running game good enough where they're not going to have to throw all the time?
Their running game's not great.
He's got Ridley.
They got Ridley only. They got the one kid who we talked about
They
last
got
week.
a couple good guys.
They're going to have Kyle Pitts now. Their defense isn't great, so they're going to be throwing a lot. I mean, can he survive? Their line is decent.
You got to take on New Orleans and Tampa in their division.
I'm calling it right now. Ryan's going to have a better year than Stafford.
If you're stacked,
really?
Yeah, I mean, if you're stacked and you have Matt Ryan, like you're stacked with running backs.
So you would take Ryan over Stafford if you had a choice?
I might.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
no.
Would you take him over Roethlisberger?
I take Ryan over Roethlisberger, no question.
Wow.
Yeah, I go with Roethlisberger.
But we're still going, like, you're still thinking that the thing about it, it's the same thing I do once in a while. You get enamored with what they did before and what they had.
Yep.
Without Julio Jones, their offense looked totally different last year. And I like Ridley a ton, and I think he's going to have a great year, but I think it's going to be such a struggle for them this year without that. Because Ridley was was that guy that would get the single coverage. I mean, and he did great last year. Got a double coverage after probably got rid of Ryan after Julio Jones got hurt.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to have to pick either one of those because they're like 16, 17.
Well, I don't know. Stafford, like I said, I would bump him up in that area. He could be that top.
He might be the last quarterback taken.
But he's playing like Pete said.
Starter.
Pete made a great point. That division would be tough defensively.
If you're drafting 2 quarterbacks too, those are the guys.
Then it's different
because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, if you draft Dak as your first pick and you don't know. I mean, with the injury situation, you might want to make sure you grab like a Roethlisberger or Ryan or somebody like that.
Yeah,
somebody strong.
I agree. Yep.
Just as a backup.
Would you have anybody? Do you have any like dark horses in your eyes? Or we apparently named all of them?
That's pretty much.
You mentioned Lance, right?
Not really talk about Trey Lance much.
All right. Well, I mean.
But you don't know when he's starting. That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing.
You could draft him as your backup, but then if you need him in week 4 and he's not starting yet, you're gonna have to cut somebody.
He's like Fields. They're gonna.
Yeah, you don't know.
They're both gonna eventually start. It's just one.
And I think Fields comes before Lance possibly because I think
No, well, you're right because Garoppolo is
starts before him. Yes,
Oh,
I think Garoppolo.
49ers are a better team.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
I think
you guys will never say Fields is better than anybody. I understand that.
No,
I understand that totally.
I was going to mention him next.
I think both of them come in at about the same time. They come in about week 3 or week 4, especially if there's some losses. San Francisco's got way more pressure based on how good their defense is.
And they're running, and they have running games.
So there's more pressure on them to make a switch than the Bears. The Bears had the ability to wait a little bit longer. Not saying that the general public's not going to call for him to be out there, but this week he just defended Andy Dalton.
Oh yeah, I know.
So I thought that was a clash.
Justin Fields says all the right things at this point, and so did everybody.
He's
Trubisky-
very
Trubisky
mature.
did too. It wasn't like Trubisky was a moron. It was,
That
he was
Ohio,
the first guy.
that Ohio State
he's a
education.
moron.
Yeah, well,
Willie, what'd you want to say?
he was
No,
Georgia first. I remember.
You know,
That's right.
Mayfield.
Yeah, he brought Mayfield. But you
You-
like him? You
Mayfield?
like? Yeah, but you like him as a
Yeah,
sleeper?
yeah.
Petey, I'm actually gonna say the opposite of what you just said.
What's that?
I think San Francisco's got more pressure to win. They have
Yeah.
to, and if they make a move and then Lance is not the guy, it makes it look really bad because they have a chance. They've got a pretty solid team. So
Right.
I think there's
Well, no, and what
but
Petey
it
said,
does put a-
if they start at 0-4,
well
they'll just do
that's
it.
what I'm saying. If they're like under 500 after
Yeah.
5 or 6 games, or
I'd say 0-2. He's done.
No, I
I
Like a
don't.
switch.
I
depends
don't.
on their schedule and who they play. I don't know who they play off the top of my head.
But
But
the Bears don't have any. The Bears aren't expected to win that division right,
Right.
now.
So they have a chance to wait. They can do the Jordan Love
I'm gonna
concept.
guess they're picked 3rd or 2nd.
They'll be up. It depends on Minnesota. Minnesota's I don't think that far ahead of them personally. Besides Dalvin Cook, that's
Well,
a
you guys
difference.
are forgetting. I'm talking behind the Lions. They got Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
He's got to turn that team around,
You
man.
bunch of turds. No turds in this room.
He's gonna bite
No, but
somebody.
what I was saying, Petey, is I think San Francisco's under a lot of pressure. If they
Yeah.
pull Garoppolo, they have to win with Lance. You know, that's
Hot brings with Tannehill too. We didn't talk much about
you
that.
know,
I like Tannehill.
But hold on a
another
minute.
guy,
I don't think there's pressure to win with Trey Lance as much because I think that the crowd there will kind of give him a little more leeway than they would Garoppolo. Because Garoppolo's taken him as far as they possibly can, right?
Well, they should have won a Super Bowl.
Because there's a reason they went out and drafted Lance.
If it wasn't for their defense, who was the strongest part of the team, they should have won a Super Bowl with Garoppolo at the helm.
But
Yeah.
again,
They gave up a 16 or 14 point lead with 8 minutes left in the game, or 13 point lead. That game should have been over.
but there's a reason they went out and traded to get or drafted Lance in the first place. It's because they're looking for.
Well, they had
replacement.
drafted Lance if they won that Super Bowl.
Eh,
Because remember,
It's hard to
it was
say.
a bad Carl and George Kittle in that game too.
Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's
The offensive pass interference. That it was, but do they really call that ever? Probably
But
not.
if you remember watching that Super Bowl, did you have all the confidence in Garoppolo?
Well, who they?
They lost to the Chiefs.
man.
Well, quarterback wise, obviously Mahomes is a better quarterback.
Well, I know, but you're
shouldn't have
saying
won
like to go out and just win the game.
that. He got him there.
He got him there, but in that, I mean, I think that's what they're.
Phil Simms is the same way.
So's Flacco.
game manager, that kind of thing.
Flacco
Trent,
was.
Trent
I'd
Dilfer.
take Garoppolo over Flacco in a
That's what I was gonna.
No,
that was gonna be
not-
my
not even a
question.
question. Flacco over. I take Garoppolo
over
any day.
Flacco.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Flacco only won a Super Bowl because Denver couldn't cover on a 3rd and 8 on a bomb. That's why he won a
He
Super
was
Bowl.
there.
Joe Flacco lit it up in those playoffs, man.
But-
Well, in
Absolutely
New England
lit it up.
only
If you take away that one pass for 70 yards on a bad defensive play, what does his stats look like? Remember that. It was a bad defensive play that got him where he got.
Well, and then he closed the deal though in that Super Bowl. This is another show here.
New
The
England only
Flacco-
won one Super Bowl because they threw the ball at the goal line instead of ran it in.
Yeah, because Seattle.
Does that make Tom Brady awful?
Well, he would have 6 more.
Oh,
Well, wait.
Petey.
Okay, but he'd still have 6 other ones, right? He'd still have 6 other Super Bowls.
He'd have
So?
5. Yeah.
No, he has 7 now, right?
So
6.
Oh, he has 7.
He might even have 8.
I think he has
Does
7
he have
Super
8?
Bowls.
I don't have enough.
We're not
should have
talking,
like
I'm talking
9.
Joe Flacco not having 0, not taking one away
Yeah.
from,
Yeah.
And I'm just saying.
Hey, Flacco or Brady?
I
a good
I will close this.
That is a good
I
topic.
do believe Tom Brady ends up top 5 in fantasy this year quarterbacks.
Oof.
1 year and he has training camp a full year. He's with that offense a whole year. They've already said they're going to be a way better offense than last year. They're saying I just think Tom Brady ends up top 5 this year in offense.
You pick him at number 5.
Way to go out on a limb,
Well,
Scott.
I won't have to.
That's what I'm saying. That's why
That's the beauty. I'm just telling people he'll be top 5. So take him when he's 10 or 11.
I'm going to
Take
pick
him.
the
sure.
7th or 9th best quarterback, and I'll be happy with it.
And it
'cause
may be
that's-
Tom Brady.
It might be. It might be.
You never know.
I have to draft
Or
against you
Tannehill,
in
something like that.
that league, that touchdown only league.
Yeah. So take Tom Brady.
Oh,
I think any.
I won't.
Remember, he threw 40 touchdowns last year.
Does anybody have like a shitty quarterback
You guys
in
remember
fantasy
Tom,
ever
does
on their
everyone remember,
team?
didn't Tom Brady throw 40 touchdowns last year?
Something like
I think
that.
so, yeah.
believe it was
I think
right
so,
there.
yeah.
It was,
It was
either
40
40 or 14.
Dude, he's
Yes,
old.
And he was
40.
terrible in his like first 3-4 games. That offense was anemic.
Until he started listening to him.
No,
Here's what we
do
need
you
to
know?
do.
Do you know he was playing on a busted knee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he
Oh,
had
yeah.
a bad knee.
Like 2 surgeries.
So do you agree that he could be a top 5 at the end of the year? If he stay, I mean, he's old. I get it, but he's smart. He sees a blitz coming. He don't run. He just gets on a ball and he curls up. He's smart.
Potentially, yes. I mean,
I heard he had, he was paralyzed, and he just, I mean,
And he was resurrected.
They propped
the
him up
next-
with a pole.
every
and he
morning.
just stood up with a pole.
He had to walk across Tampa Bay
He had a torn
every
ACL,
morning to
right?
get to
Or
the
MCL?
stadium.
That was after he
I
was
think it's MCL.
resurrected.
Yeah,
And
tell you
he
what,
walked across the
He
bay.
can throw a trophy though, can he?
Oh God, yeah. Just can't throw down a beer. I'll tell you that.
You know what? He probably had to get help because his arm was so heavy from all the rings on his
You
hand.
guys know
no
we're
shit.
1 hour in and we've only gone through quarterbacks.
Okay, let's go to receivers. Let's stop.
Real quick, Hill, Winston. What the hell?
Yeah.
What about Watson?
Hell yeah, there's a whole.
Okay.
Here's a whole other
Next
story.
topic.
I'd take Garoppolo over Watson.
Oh
I
sure.
would take Matt Ryan.
Ed, you ignorant slut. What are you talking about?
I'd take Justin Fields over Deshaun Watson right now.
Hey, but I'll tell you what, in a dynasty right now, Watson might be a great pick because after
you
he
get him for a buck.
that's what I mean. You get him for a buck and you sit on it. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe in Golden Egg will
Well,
hatch.
he was hoping people would send out a few things for him.
He
But they
sat on a
wouldn't.
few bucks.
So anyway, let's go to wide receivers. Let's start with Pete this time and your top 5.
Wide receivers.
Yep.
Okay. I thought you were going running backs, but
No, that was last. Running backs are last. They're creme de la creme. That's what they all think.
shoot. It's kind of tough. There's so many of them.
Oh,
but,
Jesus. They're pick
I got-
5.
I got Devontae Adams, of course. I got Stephon Diggs. I'll go with Hopkins and Metcalf. It's at 4 or 5.
That's 4. And that's my whole team, except for Adams.
And then obviously, Tyreek Hill is
Yeah.
he's a good one.
And we'll come back and do sleepers if you want sleep. Let's go with you, Willie.
So, all right. So,
Why don't you do the next 5?
No, just do 5. Let's
Oh.
do his top 5. My 5's different.
Oh, is it? Okay.
A little different, not much, just kind of in different order.
so who'd you say? Wasn't paying attention. What are you talking
just
about
say,
here?
Just say whatever you want.
Oh, I'm gonna say
Say your top 5.
My top 5. I'm gonna go with Adams, Hill, Diggs, Hopkins, and Brown.
Okay. I'm gonna buy into the hype of the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna put Diggs.
That's AJ Brown.
I'm gonna
right?
put Diggs number 1.
AJ Brown.
I'm gonna put Adams
Tennessee
2
Brown.
because I just think, like I said last year, he had 18 touchdowns, Devontae Adams, and like probably 6
Yeah.
of them at the goal line. I think he's gonna lose some of those issues because of AJ.
Yeah,
Brown.
it's gonna be tough.
He was
to,
actually a goal line back last year. That's what he was.
it's tough to do that 2 years in a
But
row.
once again, I would take him if he was sitting there in a spot I wanted him. I'd take him. Then I like Diggs and him. I like Hopkins just because he's Hopkins. I like Justin Jefferson a lot, and I'm gonna throw CeeDee Lamb in my top 5 just because I like what's going on.
I like that. That's a
because I
stretch.
like him.
I like it.
Yep, gotta stick with who I like, right? Hop says Hill's number 1. I just don't trust Hill.
I don't either.
Hill's just too injury prone. I like Hill, and he's one of those guys I may take, but I just don't trust Hill. He's every year he's been hurt at some point in the year. You can't get a whole year. I mean,
Just need him towards the end of the year.
yeah,
right?
and yeah. Good point.
Well, it is feast or famine a lot of times too, because he's
You're
trying to
right.
get behind everybody.
Right. He's
And-
not going to get he's not going to get the 7 to 10 targets that the guys we all just named are going to get probably.
But he'll have 250 yards for touchdowns
in
if
this
he get
game,
behind the
the
safety.
next game he'll have 2 catches for 20 yards and gets your 8 points, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the guys I just named, and CeeDee Lamb could be that guy. No, I'm just kind of stretching with that. I understand that, but all the other guys we've named so far, besides Tyreek Hill, are going to be guys that are going to get targets every single game. They're going to get targets. Yep. Hop says all wide receivers are feast or famine. I disagree totally. I really do.
I agree with you. There's
There's
Devontae
guys
Adams
that-
is getting 17 receptions.
And
a
here's
game.
the thing: it's not, and I'm not saying about scores. I'm saying about targets.
No, it's schemes.
It's
The,
about
the
targets.
coaches, the coaches are going to scheme
If
for
my
them.
receiver in fantasy gets 10 targets and he only has 12 points, I live with that because it was just a day
No.
that didn't work out.
And that's
But if I have a-
that's Hopkins and Adams.
yes,
they get-
Hopkins, Adams, and you're going to actually see that with Jefferson more. Diggs will get that. Those guys, because John Brown,
There's-
they're going to get those numbers.
There's points in games and stuff where Aaron Rodgers and Devontae don't even have to communicate like orally or with signs. They just kind of know how to read the defenses and stuff, and he
That's
just
what he
throws
said.
it up.
He said orally.
69.
Anyway,
But they do. He's the go-to guy. I think that's one of the reasons that what's his face came back because
Tom Brady is the GOAT to
Wow.
guy. No, I'm just saying. So go ahead. It's Eric's. No, it's
mine. It's my turn.
What's
yeah,
his
you're
name? Ed.
Yeah, I mean,
Ed,
we've already
who are you?
mentioned a bunch. I mean, you got Ridley. He's probably outside of that 5. He's probably I like Justin Jefferson to sneak in ahead of Metcalf, and I'm a Metcalf guy.
I had him ahead of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I Metcalf is a feast or famine guy. He can disappear for games, and then the next game he catches 3 and drops 2 more touchdowns. Or he could have,
Hop says he'll get his targets rushing attempts, but I don't get a point per rushing attempt
Yeah.
either. Remember that.
I'm not a huge fan of Hill. I don't think he's. I think
drafted.
he's top
I had
five.
him, he was fine, but he would have those. He was not consistent. He would end up with he'll end up with like Petey just said. He'll end up with maybe top. He'll end up top 10 in points in the year, but his average will look great. But he'll end up with 35, 6, 32, 20. And I'm saying those, and 35 is a big
Those
number.
kill you.
20, but those 20 weeks, great, you win. But then when it comes time, you need to win somewhere and you lose to a guy you need to beat.
You'd rather have a guy getting 20 across the board.
Even if it's 15 a week,
Yeah.
I'll take 15 average a week, right? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
think
Hill behind Hopkins and Diggs.
You're shooting for 20 points.
Oh, I love.
I would say he's probably Hill's.
Like,
probably
I put
4.
Diggs on the top because I think the offense can be really good. Adams, I just move Adams to 2 because I think it's Diggs might have a bigger, because they're going to take away that he's not going to get all the touchdowns he did. And who knows, the Packers offense will be a little more dynamic with what's his name back this year.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, not Ray Cruz. I said him before.
Yeah, Funchess.
Funchess. Yeah.
Funchess. Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
I mean, where were we at now? I mean, you put Keenan Allen and Allen Robinson. I like those guys. They're rating CD Lamb
Allen
back
Robinson
there.
gets his targets. No matter who's the quarterback,
and he catches the ball.
What are you giving us? Your top 10?
No, I 5.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm just trying to add some to this.
And then,
all right, my top 5. I think Devontae Adams is hands down the top receiver in the league. I do like Hill, so I put him second. I love AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, and then I agree with Scott, which is not always the case on CD Lamb. So there's my 5 right there.
Nice. I like it.
Those are my guys. You're gonna have huge years.
Can I spin this a little bit? Would you rather have
What are you, a DJ?
Julio Jones or AJ Brown if you needed to take a Tennessee receiver?
If I can
AJ
be
Brown.
if I can be
AJ Brown.
guaranteed,
Go ahead,
go ahead.
Ed.
Oh, me? I'll take AJ
Yeah.
Brown.
If I can be guaranteed health, I'll take Julio Jones.
Julio. I agree with you with Julio, even though I have
That's why
AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown scares me, because there's too many guys. There's too much going on there.
Now think about how you're going to scheme that. Who gets double teamed? Because only one of them can get double teamed at a time. So think of that concept and switch over to Minnesota.
Remember last year, AJ Brown got lost in some games because of Corey Davis.
Yeah,
I said the wrong Corey before, right?
No, I think you had the right
for the
one.
Jets,
It was
I
Corey
said-
Feldman.
No, I said Corey Johnson. I meant Corey Davis for the
Okay.
Jets earlier. Corey Davis was the Jets.
Okay,
I'm
I
sorry.
gotcha.
So
But last year, think about it. He got targets he got in some games it was different. Although I like AJ Brown. I think
I love
AJ Brown's
AJ
a great
Brown.
receiver. Don't
So-
get me wrong.
so
Give me a
let's-
breakout year.
Let's go to Minnesota then between Thielen and Jefferson. Jefferson's probably going to get double teamed this time around and not Thielen.
Yeah, but
Who do you
last year,
take there?
go ahead.
Oh well, I still think Jefferson's the
I think-
talent there.
I
and
think he's moving on
But I
up,
do
personally.
agree. I agree. He's gonna. I mean, he's not. He made a name for himself last year. So
Ed? Thielen or Jefferson from Minnesota?
Who would I rather have?
Yeah.
Jefferson all the way.
Sophomore.
Oh, I love you because you're thinking just like I am right
Sophomore.
now.
I'm looking at this is the same, and I had Jefferson. I'm keeping him, and I haven't.
This
only
is
got
straight up draft, right?
Yes.
You've just
Yes.
Got a choice
But
between
I'm
one or
looking,
the other.
I'm
For
looking at this.
money
I
things,
have to say Thielen because of targets. I have to. He's going to get more targets than Justin Jefferson.
What about you, Will?
But I will. Most time Thielen's gonna be gone, so I wouldn't be afraid of taking Jefferson though. I'm not gonna take Jefferson. I wouldn't take Thielen over certain receivers, so I'll take him. I'll wait too long, and I won't get Thielen, so I'll take Jefferson. See what I'm saying?
Well,
So
it's
Jefferson
a-
may go ahead of him.
That's a different argument though, because if you're drafting in a certain, if you're in the 8th round,
But
or
to answer
I'm
his
saying
question,
if you have a choice
if
between
I
the
had to
two.
just take the 2, I would take Jefferson.
I'm taking because of
Thielen.
targets. Because of targets.
Eddie, I'm sorry, Willie.
What? Huh? What the hell do I look? I'm taking Thielen.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
Yeah.
I got
And
another one
Cousins
here.
and them have a thing too. They've had a thing since he's
Mhm.
been there, and although Jefferson, I think is sky's the limit for that kid.
The-
I really do.
Let's switch to the Rams. I only have 2 more after this, but the Rams between Woods and Cup, Woods or Cooper Cup.
God, Woods had a good year last year.
Now you got Stafford throwing. So what did he do with Detroit? Did he throw intermediate? Did he throw deep?
He did everything.
I'll take Woods.
You would take Woods,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm
Because
gonna
he's
take
going to be
Woods.
more a deep guy, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
No,
No,
he'll
I-
tend to be. He'll
Well, they
tend to
have
be
don't they
more
have
of a
Deshaun Jackson now?
Yeah, but for the purposes of this exercise, just those two.
to me, that's a toss up because they're both going to be catching short,
Really?
a lot of
It's a
short
50-50?
passes.
Okay.
And Woods runs the ball quite a bit too.
I do.
Yeah, I'd
I do
reverse it.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like Woods as more of the downfield guy, not all the time. I have Cooper Cup, but I'm probably not going to keep him at $27. Probably. I don't know. I'm debating, but Cup will get more targets. I think in the long
So
run.
you're going for you did with Thielen, so you're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on. It's not Jared Goff anymore. Matt. The thing is, Stafford will air it out more, and he'll take more. He'll go downfield more than Goff did, I think. So it's tough, but I gotta. You know what? I'm gonna go with Woods though, because I listen to that thing and they talk about it a lot. They've been going to camps, and Woods is has this thing going with Stafford. They like him a lot, and that's why I'm kind of getting away from Kupp. But I see what you're saying with that. I don't think either's a bad pick because I think the offense can score points, but their defense is going to make it close games, so they're not going to have to do it. I don't know.
Who's your next one, PD?
Well, hey, let me finish. So here's the deal.
Did you pick?
Just from what Scott said there, if they're talking about Woods, I'm going with Kupp. That's what they want.
The hype machine,
right? It's a hype right there.
Go the other way.
Last one. Then I'll let Scott take the show back over again. But,
no, this is good. I like
best Pittsburgh receiver. Now you got Washington, you got Deontay Johnson, and you got Juju Schuster Smith.
What about Claypool?
Claypool.
Yeah.
Claypool. You got four. I forgot about
the
Claypool.
Mapletron.
Mapletron, that they call him.
That's what they call him. Mapletron. He's from. He's a Canuck.
God, Juju always lets you down.
French fries.
Always lets you down.
They almost didn't re-sign him. I thought that was interesting.
But the Claypool, God, that's a.
Would you go with Claypool?
I think I'll go Claypool. Yeah, even though that sophomore.
I wouldn't take any of them. I'll be honest.
I'm taking Deontay Johnson.
Just real fast. Too many balls to spread around, or what?
And you don't know who's going to be getting them. It's
Claypool
too much of a risk.
For $21, I'm not keeping him probably.
No, that's a good price for a.
He could be a number 1 or he could be a number 3. You know,
and if I like him, I'll try to redraft him. If wants to go up that high, they can have him. I mean, I'm sorry, he's available.
Willie?
See, I have just going through that Claypool and Schuster. They're in this, or Smith Schuster. They're in the same tier that I'm looking at right now. But I'm gonna go with Mapletron.
Yeah, well, Claypool is more
just
because
you like saying that.
Claypool's
I like him, dude. You know what?
Claypool's a goal line threat.
Yeah.
You know, PD, that it's kind of like the Cleveland situation where you got a bunch of guys. It just worries me that any one of them, could be the number 1 or
feast or famine.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting.
And it's if the wrong one's the number 1, then everybody's gonna flake out.
I like the Metcalf guy or the guys or Diggs where they're getting
the thing about the Steeler thing. You'll know who the guy is after 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
the problem is you got to draft one of them.
You have to draft 3 of them.
Yeah, you got to draft one of them and hope that's the one that you're not going to draft more than one of them.
You got to handcuff your wide receivers.
Yeah.
Number 1, you got to have a line to block for him, right?
You might be.
Their line's decent. They've gotten better.
I mean,
I was watching the game.
You watch them play against the Lions. Come on now.
Roethlisberger will get the ball out before he gets killed. He's a professional.
Yeah, they moved out there on the field pretty good that night. I mean, obviously.
And they're going to rely on the running game a little bit too, because they really like Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I would too, man.
It should open up some of the passing lanes later on as the season goes on. But.
So everybody give their receivers?
Yeah, we're good.
Did you give your receivers?
I did.
Okay.
I did,
So we didn't do sleepers yet, right? So let's everybody throw a sleeper out or 1 or 2 sleepers you like for receivers. I have no one we mentioned yet. Someone that we haven't talked about at all. Ed, go ahead if you want. If you like.
Sleeper.
Well, you said it last week. You said one.
I forget.
You actually said a bear. Surprisingly.
Oh, Mooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mooney. I mean, a real sleeper. I mean, Tyler Boyd for Cincinnati.
Okay.
I got Hunter Renfrow in Vegas.
I like that.
I'm not sure from Vegas who the receivers really, which one of them is going to step up. I mean, they have 3, pretty
Ruggs
young guys.
is there.
Yeah, Ruggs, and then there's another one. I forget his name, Robinson or something like that. But I think Renfrow could be that little slot guy that catches lots of quick outs and stuff.
Oh, I got another one.
Amendola-ish.
Yeah. Willie. Sorry.
Jesus, I mean, it called Ed twice today.
What's that, Ed?
Come on, Eddie.
Come on.
Jeez, either I'm starting to look like shit or Willie's looking
it's supposed to be the bell.
really good.
Ding, ding.
Okay, sucks at that.
I don't know if you go with this guy as a sleeper, but what about Hardman?
McCole.
Yeah.
He's a big pick right now.
There's a lot of people. But
yeah, I don't.
Are they sleepers if they're rookies like Waddle? I mean,
I think Waddle was another one I was thinking about.
I don't know if that you consider that a sleeper. I was about Jerry Jeudy.
Rookie wide receivers, man, they're a crapshoot.
I have 3.
All right,
That's a lot. I want to take them all.
I got one more
I already
there.
talked about Michael Gallup earlier.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper. I'm sorry. I also have here Marvin Jones Jr. in Jacksonville. He's getting tons of targets with Trevor Lawrence, and they don't have much down there. And he's always been
now with Tebow gone.
just a
All
good
the
receiver.
blocking,
The other guy that is kind of forgotten sometimes, and I like not forgotten. I like this guy a lot too. Michael Pittman Jr.
That was going to be the guy. Yep.
Yeah, and I like him. And then Hop did ask Michael Thomas. I think he's worth a pick somewhere if you have an injury reserve in your league. I mean, I think
Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, Reagor. But yeah.
If you look at Pittman, he's going outside the top 50 wide receivers, and he's the number one there.
That's crazy. And he's his last 2 games, in the playoff game, he had like 12 targets and 10 catches, and in a playoff game against Buffalo.
That's a good one. I like that one.
So, and that was Philip Rivers. We know what's going to happen with the quarterback if Wentz is back, and if who's their quarterback right now? They're saying the kid from maybe Texas might start.
Is it Jim Sorgi?
No, what's his name, PD? The Texas quarterback that's in Indy?
Tyrod Taylor.
No, the Texas quarterback. He just they said he might. He's been playing
Colt
pretty well.
McCoy?
No, it's the kid that was just there a couple years ago in
keep
Texas.
Going. Let's keep going.
No,
Texas
you won't. I don't know, but the Texas kid. Oh, maybe he's on the list here. Anyway, so who'd you say? Let's someone put the name up there.
Michael Thomas.
There he is. Erlinger.
Oh yeah,
Erlinger. There it is.
Okay.
Okay. So.
I forgot Randall Cobb.
He could be. He could be.
What about Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah,
that guy always shows up every year.
I kept him in my. I kept him in my keeper league because he was
and
$2.
in the player to be named later category for receivers, whoever the number one in New Orleans is, without Michael Thomas here.
Yeah,
that's a sleeper.
Exactly.
It's got to be.
Who is it? Though?
Well, they have Traquan Smith there, but I don't think they've been talking about another guy that's been in camp, and I can't remember his name.
There's nobody in the top like 70.
Callaway
listed.
Is Thomas
Callaway, there it is,
the
Callaway.
first few weeks? Is that what the
5 weeks they're saying?
The first 5,
possibly.
Okay.
He's getting pupped, so if he gets pupped, well, 5 weeks won't be the pup. Pup would be
keep
6.
his personal life out of this.
So let's go to running backs. Top running backs. I'm just gonna take McCaffrey. Let's take McCaffrey and Cook and Kamara off the table, and say let's take McCaffrey out. Some people might have different opinions about 2, 3, 4, and 5. Does everybody agree McCaffrey's number 1 for running backs?
Yes,
he'll be number 1 pick in the
Does
draft.
the injury scare you?
I have mentioned that.
Not him. He's a tough guy.
Every one of those guys.
I like
has had
Dalvin
injuries.
Cook better, I think, than McCaffrey. But if I was number 1, I have to take McCaffrey just because if you take the guy everybody believes in and it doesn't work out, then everybody else in the world did the same thing you did. If I go take Dalvin Cook and McCaffrey's the MVP, I'd be like moron. So.
I took McCaffrey last year.
Yeah. Well, but you took him. Yeah, I would have took him too. I'm not arguing with you. You would have took him too. So let's start with Willie this time. Who would you take after McCaffrey? Who's your top?
McCaffrey. Kamara, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
and then
tell us.
You tell us.
I'm going that. I'm gonna go with. I've drafted this guy a couple times, and he's always crapped the bed for me. But I think Zeke's gonna have a good year.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, especially if all that other offense we just talked about works.
Well, he's actually lost weight. They said.
Yeah,
is he still going to wear the midriff? Then
I hope so.
Bet she's got an 8-pack.
Daddy likey.
Oh,
Daddy likey.
Guess we know where Scott stands on this. Is that you got everybody? Then you got your 5?
That's it. That's good. I mean, we were 5.
Well, and isn't that what?
No, it doesn't matter.
I just want to say a couple because I want to leave some for you guys.
I've obviously you got Cook, Kamara. Obviously, I like Elliott with Willie. And then I'm gonna. Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones will do a lot more sharing the ball, but I think he has enough big playability to be up there. I'm a fan of Najee Harris and Antonio Gibson. Maybe they should have sneak in that upper tiers or tier 2, because Antonio Gibson actually catches the ball really well. And Barkley, I'm scared to death of, just because of the injury. I think he was a year removed. 2 years, I take him, but if he falls to you, I don't know if I take him. I'm not sure what I would do if I was in that spot and I had a choice between him. I mean, let me ask you guys a question. I know you haven't named your things, but if you had a choice between, let's say, what came to you and it was Saquon Barkley or John Taylor, who would you take? Ed.
I'd probably take Saquon.
I think I'd take Taylor.
Who'd you take?
I got Taylor for sure.
Okay, and then Willie
Taylor.
Okay, let's go with Nick Chubb or Saquon Barkley.
Nick Chubb.
I love Chubb.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Probably go with Barkley, believe it or not.
Not Charles, Saquon. Right?
Revamp line. I don't know, something about him.
I'm gonna give Barkley a chance.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Who are your running backs, Ed?
Piece of chance.
Who would
your running backs?
Like, what do you mean my running?
Top 5.
Top
5 or 6, not counting McCaffrey. Obviously,
you'd have Cook. Nobody's mentioned Derrick Henry, and he's right up there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to put up 2,000 yards again. That's impossible. But probably Zeke and
I know Zeke. Yeah, good call.
And probably Chubb then.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's all been hit up already.
Okay. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. I don't know if that translates to the best fantasy running back, but he's definitely in my top 5. I like Cook. I actually like Jonathan Taylor this year a lot. I love Najee Harris. That's, I think, going to be a big one. And I don't know why. In the ranking I'm looking at right now, Chubb is 13th. And I disagree with that. I think he's a top 5
That's
or 6.
right. I put
for
him at
sure.
like 5.
Yeah, he's and it's
I think the Kareem Hunt factor gets in
yeah,
there. It's that,
but
it's that
still,
two
I
guys.
mean,
Yeah, I agree.
look at how well they ran together last year, even deep into the playoffs. Even I think Chubb's a stud.
The only running back I think has the potential to crack the top 5 or top 4 even is Austin Eckler. I think he's got a chance this year.
Yeah,
He let me down
for sure.
last year. Obviously, he got hurt.
Well, they had a lot of injuries and stuff, but
Okay.
what you writing, Willie?
He's writing stuff down.
And
He's subscribing to the
Oh,
Pete
yeah.
strategy.
Any sleepers we have in running backs that we haven't named? Go ahead, Willie. You can start off.
Dobbins.
Yeah, let's go on.
J.K. Dobbins.
Not really a sleeper.
No, I know, but I
It
tell
is
you what,
kind of
he's
a
a third.
sleeper.
No, he's a starting running back on a good team.
Right, but no one
He's not
talked to him
top
about
15.
what about our man Melvin Gordon?
No, because my guy's going to take his job.
I think that ship is
I'm
sailing.
going to go with Javonte Williams as a
Okay,
sleeper
all right.
from Denver. That's my sleeper. Ed.
Go ahead.
I
you
mean,
got your
I
guy.
like Swift in Detroit because there's nothing else there. Him and Hawkinson, that's about it.
He's banged up.
But everybody's banged up. The one that was getting picked in the top couple picks last year and now was dropped way out is Hilaire.
Yeah, Hilaire. Good call. Yep.
It's a steal where you're going to get him in the second or third round now.
Hop said Gus Edwards.
I don't even know who that is.
Isn't he the backup in Baltimore still? Gus Edwards.
I don't know. If
We're
he's
not
still
talking about the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, he's still in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah. My sleep. We talked about it all year last year with the Buffalo Bills, and that they just couldn't run the damn ball. If they figured anything out, then my sleepers would be either Moss or Singletary.
Which one though?
I'll take Moss
He's a goal line guy.
because it's a gamble.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're going to be around the goal line a lot.
so if they figured anything
That's
out,
what they hope.
yeah, exactly.
Another guy that people are kind of giving after the whole injury to Cam Akers but Darrell Henderson is going to be a sleeper. He's a starter.
Oh yeah,
They did nothing to replace
I don't think
him.
he's a sleeper anymore.
No, people are like he's like 20 on my list.
I
He's
got
a starter. I'd take him over
another keeper, $2
like on this
keeper
list.
for
I'd
me.
probably take him over. Well, not many guys on this list, but Miles Sanders maybe take him over.
ATN maybe.
What
about Jacobs? You'd take him over Jacobs, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because you don't know what they're going to do with him and Kenyon Drake now. I have no idea what they're going to do there.
I have a sleeper as James Conner. He's a starting running back down in Arizona.
Well, they have what's the name though too. Still,
Chase Edmonds.
Connor might not. They have Edmonds there too, and Edmonds is listed at the top of the depth chart right now.
Yeah, I got Conner. As the season wears on, he's got to
Well,
take on people.
I like Petey's risky pick there.
Yeah,
As a third
no.
running back, that's a good pick, man.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it. I'm just saying.
Well, it's kind of the Kenyon Drake thing too with Jacobs. I mean, they spend money to bring in Drake.
Yeah, he's a terrible singer too.
Yeah,
God's
isn't he
plan.
Canadian too?
Yeah, he's Canadian too.
Jesus, he can get us some.
As Canadian as bacon.
some
you get
poutine.
Josh. You get Josh with him.
How do you
Josh
guys
and
feel
Drake?
about Damian Harris?
Missed my joke.
I like him.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype on as much hype as you can give a New England running back in that situation, but they're saying he's going to be the guy.
It's
think
New
he is.
England though. It's that
But-
you don't know
but
what you're getting.
James White is gone, right?
No, I believe he's still there.
Still there. I thought he left. Well,
There's a few guys in the mix there,
I
but
thought
a
he was
lot.
with Philly.
Yeah, he
No,
left. James
he's
White. I
New
thought-
England. He's New England.
Is he still there for sure?
Yeah. At least on the current update, I got
Yeah, it still says New England on
New
white.
England. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Damian Harris is a good pass catcher too. That's the thing. But if James White's still there, it's hard to get him out of the pass catching duties. So we'll see.
Hop wants to know about the Tampa Bay running back situation.
Fournette.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fournette.
Fournette's hard, but they got the rookie Keyshawn, whatever his name was, or he probably getting involved more this year. I think. Do they still have what's the name?
Thomas Jones is still there.
Ronald Jones.
Jones. Thomas Jones. He's a mutter.
I love Thomas Jones, man. He was a great player.
Boy, I keep getting these first names wrong.
Ish Jones is there.
Ish. You know who else is in Tampa Bay is
Jesus.
Giovanni Bernard is in
Yeah,
Tampa too.
you know another running back that's having a real good training camp and would be maybe a sleeper later is
Matsui.
no Jarek McKinnon
Oh yeah, yeah.
in KC.
KC.
And he was a stud.
He's
When,
taking the number 2 job, they said, and he's been having a great out of the backfield.
And
he could be a
Allaire-
third down back.
Allaire is definitely the guy,
They're
right?
saying, yeah.
he is, but
He's
But
a little-
third down back in that offense.
in that offense too, yeah, you could have multiple
he
running
could
backs
have
do
he
well.
could get 6, 7 catches a game
Mhm.
in that offense. He could be
Yep.
like, yeah, he could have a good year.
So for fantasy purposes, are you handcuffing any of these guys?
Well, you have to handcuff. I think it's Dalvin Cook's an easy handcuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Kamara's an easy handcuff. I believe obviously Aaron Jones is
Aaron
an easy
Jones.
handcuff. Derrick Henry, they have a back they're talking about real big right now down there. I can't remember his name, but
Yeah.
he's probably easy
you
handcuff.
can't do it with Chubb though, because I mean,
But Chubb, because Kareem Hunt will be gone.
yeah,
So
he's
Right, right.
That's not
exactly.
happening.
they're going to be picked within the 3 rounds or 2 rounds of each other.
Who's McCaffrey's handcuff? I can't remember. He played pretty well last year, didn't he?
No, there's a new guy.
It was
now.
Mike Davis. Yeah,
What's your philosophy? Only handcuff your top running back,
Yes,
or
I
you
agree.
try to handcuff more than one?
Nope.
No, just one.
If you take a running back in the top 5, you have to handcuff him. If not, I wouldn't worry about
Yeah.
it. Because you can get, I think you can get about take a running back in the 4th or 5th or 6th, 7th round. It's going to be a starter, and you can put him in hopefully if your guy gets hurt.
So I intentionally try to take somebody's handcuff to try to trade the handcuff and get some better value. I try to screw
How'd
over.
that work out for you?
I try to screw
dirty.
over Sean Olsen any chance I can get by taking his
I
handcuff.
would never trade anybody for my handcuff. I'd be like, keep him. Hope my guy gets hurt.
Oh.
And usually a handcuff isn't as good as a starter anyway.
McCaffrey's
But
Chubba.
They'll be serviceable, but
Chubba Hubbard.
Oh, yeah.
So he just got drafted.
Yeah.
So.
Bubba.
So good young legs. He might get carries this year too. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
young legs are good.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's got us through the fantasy portion of our show. Didn't take too long.
You guys should have one of these
Couple
peak
hours.
beers.
yeah, let's
let's do the go get it.
Take a quick break or
No, go get the beer of the week.
We don't take breaks on this show.
Go get it now.
Don't
We
Go.
work for
Hey,
our
tell
fans.
Tell us a joke.
A joke.
I heard last night in the League World Series. The guy walked out to try to be cool because he's coached our trying to be cool and
Oh,
nice
I
guys.
told you that.
Yeah,
The
but-
kid threw a no hitter, and the
No,
other coach.
no, this is different. I was watching a game. This team was getting beat.
Oh.
And he walked out. He goes, "Oh, hey, did you guys hear back? Is there's a fire by the tents? Fire by the tents. Blah blah blah." And the kid's like, "Huh? There's a fire by the tents. What are you talking about, coach? It's pretty intense. Terrible." He's trying to break the mood, and I'm like, these coaches crack me up because they're not like that when they're actually coaching when no mic is on them. They're not. It's just so cheesy with how they're, hey, don't worry about it. Chin up. Don't worry about it. I love the one. You ever see that? You ever see those videos of that one coach that goes out to the
Oh
all
my
the
gosh,
time?
yeah.
Hey, the only reason I got you on my team because your mom's hot. He say stuff like that. You ever watch that guy? You ever see that guy?
Oh,
PD
yeah.
ever?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Oh,
he's
it's great.
great.
The guy's
He's great.
hilarious. Hey, you know what? The reason I started drinking because of you. And the best one over was, you know what? I actually thought I saw the worst pitcher ever in this league last year. Well, no, you beat him now, or something like that. It's great. It's good stuff. Good, clean fun. I like it. So
That's
okay. That's my portion of beating up on kids.
That's how Halufka used to treat us in high school. Remember, Petey?
It wasn't Halufka. It was TF.
Tom
Yeah.
Hollis.
No, TF used to ride us.
Besides the towel slap.
Oh
in
no,
the
he
shower?
would joke like I was gonna make the joke. My joke was Halufka just said just start running.
Yeah, Halufka.
That was it.
Halufka made you run more than the track team. over
Yeah, if
next
we weren't
year.
gonna beat you on the baseball field, we'd beat you on the track. That was the joke. But yeah, TF would he would joke around with the kids and
I once,
end up drunk at my house in the middle of a doubleheader game, or as a split doubleheader day.
So
that was weird.
We're at Horlick Field, and TF sees this this ant covered Pop-Tart laying on the ground, and he goes, "How much money would it take for me to eat that?" And we're all like, "I don't know. We got like change. We pulled our change together. It was like $6 or $6.15, something like that." TF picks up the Pop-Tart, wipes all the ants off of it, and he ate it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all like just in awe of the whole situation, just because as kids and stuff are like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Did you ever hear his stories on Whitewater about his buddy?
About the spittoon. That's what I was gonna get. Why don't you tell that one?
The spittoon star. So they're playing cards. These are all football players.
This
and
dude's
stuff.
crazy, man.
And they're going around the table all night and they're all chewing and spitting in this cup, and it's just nasty. And at the end of the night, one of the guys like, "Dude, I need some money for a taxi or something to get home."
Uh-huh.
And they're like, "How much money we got?" And it was the same thing, throwing $6, maybe $8 they had. And they're like, "Dude, you got to drink that spit out of the spittoon."
And he did.
So
He did.
well, the story's even worse. He tips it up, drinks it, and they're like, "Holy shit, he drank that." And he said when he puts it down, there's spit like coming down his chin and running down. It's like all nasty spit because they all took one last loogie in there right before.
Ugh.
He says the guy sets it down, picks it back up, and finishes it off for $8.
No, never. Never.
Never.
Never.
You gotta listen to Follows tell these stories because they're great. Guys eating cardboard, the pizza box, make them eat the whole box before they give them money.
Ugh.
SPD, there he had great stories, man.
Willie, what's in your big cup tonight?
Water.
Just water?
Yeah.
Wow. Someone's on the wagon.
No. I had we number 6 seed took out the number 3 seed tonight in bags.
Well, good.
So we're playing the number 2 seed next week.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
So
you gotta have some, PD. It's the end of the week.
You already had one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's get this crap going.
I like beer cause it is good. I drink beer because I should. If there was a song to sing, I sing it and beer you drink. I drink beer when I am sad, cause the beer it makes me glad. Now there's nothing left to say, so let's go drink beer. Beer is good! Beer is good! Beer is good!
Well, beer is good, and I don't know how you guys survived without me for the last 4 weeks, not knowing what the hell fermented beverage to grab out of the fridge while you listen to this damn show. But
I took care of it.
Oh, Scott took care
we
of
had
it.
some
So I'm
Dixon
sure it was
cider.
good.
Dixon cider.
I
last
heard
week.
about the Dixon cider, and I'm very disappointed I missed the Dixon cider.
Yeah.
But this week, we always kind of go back to some of our favorite breweries, and we're Wisconsinites, so of course we love New Glarus. And we've pretty much on this show drank every single one of these fruited wild ales, and this one is a new one that I've never seen before. It's called Lotso Peach 21. So I'm guessing 21 is because of the year, but it's one of their fermented wild ale aged in fruit and all kinds of good stuff. So I've never had it, so here's the first sip for me. Lotso Peach.
It's very good.
Cheers.
Big fan. You don't like it, PD?
Petey hated it, didn't you? Oh, it's refreshing.
Hey, there's a microphone for a reason, Captain Morgan.
Hey, I didn't know we were actually in the bar.
No, we're in the bar right now. Petey, let's start with you. What's your assessment of this beer?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 1. If I was drunk enough at night, I'd order it, but only if they're on everything else.
I'm between a 6 or 9.
You're probably the 6.
You know what? I was going to say I could take Petey more seriously now. He's not wearing like dress clothes and a pair of like round shoes.
They're
those are pretty nice shoes.
They're corduroy.
What the hell you got going on there?
Oh my gosh, look at those.
Are those Maddie shoes?
They're sweet.
Hey, his daughter called, watch your shoes back.
Wow.
Those are pretty tight, man. I like those.
Did you watch Space Jam when you Jesus. Go ahead.
Anyways,
the LeBron one.
Boo. The Michael Jordan's on Netflix right now.
What is? Oh, the Space Jam?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so what were you saying, Willie?
I'm going to give this a 7.
Nice.
7.5. Yep.
To me, it ranks up there with their other, like the cranberry one and the raspberry.
Oh, the best one
Absolutely.
is that Belgian red.
Oh, it's the
Wisconsin Belgian.
Yeah,
red.
but you can't get that often,
it was at
No,
the
you can't get
pig.
it. I called it.
I like the squirrel one.
It was
I
the
told
pig.
you,
It was
you
at
get
the
it.
pig
The,
today.
the squirrel one's pretty good.
Brown nut squirrel.
I like that one.
No, I'm telling.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, no more wild ales.
He's
for
still
Petey.
hungover from Saturday.
You mean
Well,
drunk.
he asked me. He gave it a 1 for Christ's sake. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I disagree with Petey, and I agree with you guys. I think it's when they do these wild fruited
they're
ales,
great.
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Where is New? You went to that brewery?
Yeah, me and
You
Eric are both
South
on
of
there.
I've
Madison.
been there. Yeah, a
I've
few
been there
times. It's
twice.
South
awesome.
of Madison.
Gotta go sometime.
It's a great venue because that you just if it's a nice day, you grab some food or whatever, and it's just a whole big outdoor beer garden, great setting. Bring your own food, have a picnic, and then
It's up
just
on the hill, and
walk over and get tap beer.
Yeah.
It's
all the taps are outside.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's nice.
Is it
Lakeside.
free, the beer?
Lakeside's better
No.
though. Don't you think with the tour and all
Lakeside. What the
No,
hell's that at?
that?
this is just a
Lakefront?
cool.
Lakefront?
Lakefront. Excuse me. They have that cool tour and stuff, and then they have like
It's a fun tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
they have like silent discos and stuff going on.
Well, did you ever do the boat tour to Milwaukee? You could take the
I
boat
heard
on the
that's
river.
awesome,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
cool. I've
That's
done that.
pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
We
I've
should do
done
that
that.
sometime.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think Eagle Park might be involved in that
Ooh,
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Eagle
Oh, that'd
Park.
be great.
I went to the golf outing last week. I was thinking of us. Me and you, Eric.
Yeah.
It was a gift
Jerk.
certificate for Eagle Park.
In
For,
Muskego?
yeah, wherever. I don't know.
Why don't you guys live broadcast from the Noggin joint?
I don't know.
That'd be
Yeah, we
awesome.
should
We
work
even
on
know
that.
those
We're going to
guys?
work on Broken Bat too in Milwaukee.
The Sandlots would let you broadcast live, no doubt.
Sure would.
Absolutely.
I say Lucci's.
No, I
Way
think
better.
Raw Lucci's would be fun. There's just not a ton of room in there.
Yeah.
So I was at Woodman's last week. Guess what they have there? One of our favorite breweries.
Drunken Pickles.
Noon Whistle.
Noon Whistle.
And I
they
bought
do.
it's at Festival too. I bought it the last 3
And
weeks.
they have M43 there at
Shut the
Woodman's.
front door.
Yes, they do.
But do they have disc and cider?
I didn't look for it. She kept running around. So
You guys do Dragon's Milk? Did you try that one already?
Oh,
New Holland?
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
classic.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, it's very
and they
good.
have like 20 variants of it as well. Yeah, that's a good stuff.
What about Busch Light Draft? That's one of my favorites.
I'll
I
drink
like
that
Busch
too.
Light.
Have you had that
Actually,
Bush Apple yet?
What about
Jay
the,
said he did.
What about the Pabst
Just
coffee?
joking.
You guys
Just
do the
joking.
Pabst coffee one?
Yeah.
They
Yes,
say
we
that's
do.
good.
Yeah, you
chocolate
brought that. You brought that over once.
It's incredible.
Well,
Oh,
and then
my.
you got me. What was that one you had me?
Hey.
The Natty Light. What was the Natty Light one at? Hey, when we were golfing at
Hard
Bristol Oaks,
coffee.
what was the Natty Light one that I had? Was that a peach?
Strawberry lemonade.
That was damn.
Yeah.
Hey, people, that was damn
That's
good.
friend of the show's
We drank on the golf course one time. Was it with you? I was drinking. Where
Yeah,
were we?
yeah. We're on the turn. We had
Taylor
like three of
Lannis
them.
is his favorite. He's got a jersey with
But
that.
they
on.
have Bush Apple now.
Ooh, that sounds all right.
Where do you like them apples?
No relation to Fiona.
Bush Cherry's coming out. That one's a little tangy.
That's off limits
Jesus.
Bush Hyman.
until it's broken. Until it's broken.
I can't be
I
associated
can't wait.
with this group.
Well,
Yep.
can't wait till they crack that
Walk away.
keg open.
It's my last show. Thank you all.
So anyway,
You
you guys
brought
like
it
the
up.
beer?
Yeah.
Hey, can we just switch over to Ted Lasso, please, for a minute?
So anyway, Ted
Wait,
Lasso.
you guys better not have been watching it without me.
I binge
Spoiler
watched the whole
Don't
first
listen.
season.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Did you watch it?
I've
I have
been.
not.
I'm just gonna say one
What
thing.
season are
I'm
you
on
on?
Season? I'm on
Two.
season.
We're on
I
two.
watched all of them so far. I'm caught up.
We're on 2.
Just gonna say, there's a new coach coming to the staff. That's all I'm gonna say.
Holy crap!
That's all I'm gonna say. There's a new coach gonna be on the staff. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think I already know.
Well, don't you can't tell him. You've seen it.
Oh,
Hey,
Don't tell him.
I'm still on that first episode.
He's only saw the first season. If you saw the second season,
no, I
now?
saw a couple of episodes.
Okay.
It happens
Uh-oh.
early in the second one, doesn't
That's
it?
gotta go.
Jace, give me a wet towel.
So anyway,
the
but
show's getting out of hand.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Ed
He is-
Shat.
Yeah, I think he had an
He
accident.
sharted. He
to tell you the
sharted.
truth. I really do.
Oh my God.
Is there what?
Oh my gosh. It's starting to crawl.
This is on live podcast.
Oh, it is? I thought we were on
I'm sorry.
break.
I was like,
I thought we were on break that whole time.
So anyway, so let's anything else? Oh, you know, I saw today. I saw this. What was it? Do you know who has the best record in the American League Central since the All Star break?
The Detroit Tigers.
Detroit
White Sox.
Tigers.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Detroit
And what about
Tigers.
Miggy?
Yeah,
Hitting
Miggy 500. Congratulations to Miguel Cabrera, my favorite draft pick for 4 years in a row. Him and Ichiro back to back every year. Worked out good.
How old is he?
Miggy's got to be 38. He's going to play probably another year to break the 5,000 hits. He's only a few. He
Right.
can get 5,000 probably next
Well,
year, not this
He,
year.
hey,
If
he-
they were the
he's-
Cardinals or no, the Angels, they were like, got rid of him. Right?
Yeah,
He's no
Yeah.
Sohi Antani.
yeah. Did you see? How'd you like Jack
Japanese.
Morris?
Oh, you okay?
Oh yeah, he got kicked out.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's
is that
terrible.
isn't that double standard with Stephen A. Smith?
Well,
Right.
I don't understand how Stephen A. Smith got away with any of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
if Jack
shocked.
Morris loses his job,
And if you
or
look
not,
at,
he's suspended. He didn't lose his job.
if you
He's
look at the
suspended.
Jack Morris thing, it sound if
Very,
you take
very
it out of
interesting.
context, it kind of looks bad. But he was making an Elmer Fudd voice.
Right.
When you think about that, it's like who thinks Asian
said-
people
Yeah, but
sound
time
like
out, time
Elmer
out.
Fudd?
he said he was doing Elmer Fudd.
You
He was
can't-
doing Elmer
Listen,
Fudd.
no, listen.
He's like, be very, very careful,
you
just
can't-
like Elmer Fudd
But
used to do.
Ed, some of those cartoons are super, super racist. Super racist.
Do you think that was when Elmer Fudd did that to Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny was portraying an Asian guy?
Well, they were making fun of a guy with a speech impediment, but it was Elmer Fudd,
That's
so it was funny.
oh, that's all right if it's a white guy with a speech
I'm
impediment.
just
We can make
saying.
fun of him, you know.
Be very,
I-
very
No, but
quiet.
I
To be
understand
fair-
what he was doing, and it sounds bad.
yeah, but
if you
after
take
he
it out
said
of
it,
context.
he did a gong. So it was, that's why the
Bong.
gong got him in trouble.
And he was like, yeah, holding his eyes.
Where
like, you know.
where is
Well-
this going to go?
Well, they made him apologize like right away. Like an inning or two later, he apologized.
Oh, he
on
did. He
air.
apologized.
But then they're like, it's abhorrent behavior. It's like, come on. If he was really doing just an Elmer Fudd voice, there's nothing wrong with that.
But they can't afford to lose anybody from the viewing audience, so they're trying not to alienate.
They already lost
anybody.
me. I threw mine away
Well,
first day, before the season
oh,
started.
Tiny didn't care, so he said. He's like, I didn't care.
He's taking the high road. He's like, I don't even know who that guy is or what he said, but
He doesn't know who Jack Morris is? Jack Morris has had a way better career than Ohtani.
Maybe Stephen A. Smith's right.
He doesn't speak.
I'm just kidding.
He doesn't speak English right now.
We know Stephen A. Smith told us.
Yeah, but if you look,
Did you hear what you heard what Stephen A. Smith said, right?
You can't be the
he shouldn't
face.
be the face of baseball because he can't speak English. He basically
Yeah,
that's what he
yeah,
said.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I knew
That,
that.
that's the only argument I have with it. I'm not going to argue
Can you
what was
imagine-
done or whatever.
Well,
But
Stephen
they
A.
should both not have jobs or suspended, or they both should have their jobs. That's the way it
But
should
Stephen A. ripped on Milwaukee pretty badly, and they let him get a pass.
be. Oh, I don't care about that. He can have an
That's-
opinion about
yeah.
a town. That's fine. Milwaukee's not the greatest city anyway.
it's a dump.
And Brogdon left town saying it was one of the most racist cities he's ever been in. So maybe Stephen A. Smith's going with that. He's listening to the player. I'm just saying making fun of a city and a person are two different things.
Right.
It really is. I mean, it's his game. And I think Stephen A. Smith did that, kept going with it as a fun joke. Cause then one time he goes, I just left 80-degree weather to come here. It's like 40. It was like 70. He was, I think at the point he made it into almost a stick. And I'm not defending Stephen, but like a shtick. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
Sure sounds like you're defending him.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, a city and a person are two different people.
I have no
Different
problem
things.
with Stephen A. Smith saying any of that. Actually, I mean, it's a little offensive, but
Would you like some more of this?
That's his
1
job.
point beer.
I switched over to Pepsi.
I mean, those guys' job is to make people talk, and
We get
but
paid by them.
I don't like the
No.
fact that if Jack Morris makes a stupid joke, he's getting fired, and Stephen A. Smith makes
Well,
a
suspended
blatant.
indefinitely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, and
Still get my table dirty. Jesus.
but
this
he
guy.
got suspended over a stupid joke, and Stephen A. Smith made a blatantly racist comment.
Willie's leaking on the table.
hey, pull a Simpsons character and suck it right off the table. Come on, Barney.
So anything else? Anything else is like, Hop did correct me. I said 5,000 hits from Cabrera. I meant 3,000. My bad.
That is a lot of hits.
Anything
5,000.
else? Anything else from the last weekend? Anything?
I've got a couple things.
Oh,
but
that's got a couple things. Here we go.
What, your top 5 kickers?
Accidentally unplugged this thing.
No, I just was like, Giannis must feel like such a chump
Oh, here we go.
after paying so much for such a small stake in the Brewers.
Oh yeah.
When he's got to be kicking himself for $100, he could have owned part of the Packers.
You already used that earlier.
Actually, it's 250.
I know,
Oh, that was
we're-
250.
It's
Yeah.
250 actually.
Whatever it was.
So, but
Terrible.
half the.
That's still a controlling share.
I get it. Yeah.
All he needs is a piece of paper and some printer ink.
Oh man, what do you guys got?
Top 5 kickers.
Jesus, that
All
was-
time.
Hey,
Who's next?
Kevin Butler.
Hey,
All time.
Jan Stenerud.
Young Hoku.
Young Hoku.
I had him
Very,
last year. He
very
was
quiet.
money. I had him last year. He was money. That Korean kicker.
13th round.
He was awesome.
He was great. I had him last year.
He was awesome.
13th round. 14th round. Where do you take a kicker usually?
Last piss.
Whatever your last
round.
pick.
Defense, I
absolutely.
take like the 10th, 11th, maybe if it
Sure.
starts going, but kicker, I just take a crap.
You know who takes a
because kickers, I pick kickers like different every week for fun. I just start changing them out.
But
Unless they're really good.
Reese will actually in any draft room with Don Reese, he'll grab a defense
for $10
right away.
If you need someone to kick off
Right away.
after it's a big lead, Jace is your guy.
Jace.
Jace is the man. That's
Kicker,
right.
had 2
Congratulations.
kickoffs this last week. Yeah. He's starting this
Really?
week.
Are you really?
You're gonna earn a varsity letter in football.
I want to go
Awesome.
there even after I,
Very cool.
filed as a sex offender, but I still want to go.
Back to
But
that
I
again.
can't. I can't. Yeah, just
Allegedly.
No, I
Allegedly.
refiled.
It's not filed. It's re-upped.
I re-upped it. Yeah,
It's defiled.
I just have. It's gonna look
No,
weird
it's
if I'm
deep
just
nuts.
sitting in the stands by myself watching. What are you here for, Jace?
Why is that sitting in the student section?
Why are you gonna wear his away jersey? So you look like that.
There it is.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
maybe
That would
Jace
fit well.
can pin me. Jeez.
Wow.
Get
Remember
a
they used to
sweater.
do that back in the old days.
Yeah, his
your leather
Letterman
jacket.
sweater.
No, Jace did not get an extra point hop. He just did kickoffs.
Oh,
He asked. Yeah, our neighbor Rebecca did extra points. Glenn's daughter.
did she hit it?
She kicked one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw that post. Yeah.
Yep,
That's
yep.
awesome.
I'd be going for 2. Try to run it up.
Yeah, we know you would.
Uh,
Be very, very careful.
Willie, what do you got?
80.
I got a couple of dad jokes. You guys ready for
Oh
them?
yeah, here we go.
Heck yeah.
All right, here we go. 2 guys walked into a bar. The third guy ducked.
I've heard that one.
So bad. God, that's terrible.
All right. What's brown and sticky?
the
Ed's pants.
A stick.
Ed's underwear.
My
A
socks.
stick.
You got it.
What is it?
Oh,
A stick.
What's brown and
Sticky. Stick.
All right. What do you call a pudgy psychic?
pudgy psychic.
Yep.
A fat astrologer.
pudgy psychic? Dr. Phil.
A fortune teller. Fortune.
These are horrible.
They are, aren't they? What do you call when a group of apes start a company?
Watch out with Jack Morris in the room.
Yeah. I don't know.
Monkey business.
All right, let's here's some better ones. What did the toaster say to the slice of bread? I want you inside me. Give it to me, give it to me, she yelled. I'm so wet. Give it to me now. She could scream all she wanted, but I was keeping that umbrella.
I got a good one. You guys want to hear a good one? So you guys might have heard this joke before, but I'll tell it again. So three kids are walking down the street. They walk by an old man sitting on the porch. The old man, they've got duct tape. The old man goes, "Hey guys, what are you doing with the duct tape? We're going to catch some ducks." Old man's like, "You ain't catching no ducks with duct tape." Comes back, they got ducks. Next they walk by, they have chicken wire. Guy goes, "What are you doing with that chicken wire?" "Going to catch some chickens." "You are not catching chickens with that chicken wire." Come back, they got chickens. Next day they walk by with some pussy willows. Old man says, "Let me get my coat." Because we're going to get cats. Just so you guys know, you like kittens. You like kittens.
Oh, I thought he was looking for a flower display for his dining room table.
Okay, go ahead, Eric. Yeah, another one.
Well, speaking of cats, what do you do when your cat's dead?
Applaud.
Play with the neighbor's pussy instead.
Jesus. This isn't. Why do we bring him back?
Who's this, Sam Kinison? Am I just being funny? Pete, you don't got any jokes?
There's so many good ones in here.
Oh my god, they're all dirty.
They're all dirty. I just searched dirty dad jokes, and this is what I get.
Okay, one more. We got to cut you off.
Okay, one more.
Pick a good one.
That's the best he can do is just giggle while reading.
These are all so good though.
What is this? Supposed to light up, give you more sheen on your face.
Push on it.
We're out of batteries.
All right, this one's not.
I'll admit, I have a tremendous sex drive. My girlfriend lives 40 miles away.
Yeah,
you've heard that one.
It's typical.
Okay, so let's.
How do you make a pool table laugh?
Tickle its balls.
Yeah. All right. We talking defense special teams or no?
So anyway, let's end the show.
Oh, good idea. Ted Lasso.
I don't care if you guys want to watch one or two. I don't care. It's up to you guys. Maybe Jason brings his TV out. We can watch outside.
Oh, I like that.
You can do that first, Chase? Okay, great. Anyway, so let's closing thoughts. The usual closing thoughts. Anything. Go ahead, Ed.
Well, I want to throw out a congratulatory thing to the WNBA champs. Seattle Storm visited the White House today. Took a photo with the president. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Biden was extremely disappointed when he found out they were all too tall for him to sniff their hair.
Okay. Sorry. Eric?
What do you call a herd of cows? What do you call a herd of cows masturbating? Beef stroking off.
Any closing thoughts besides that?
No, that's it. That's my closing thought.
Petey, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, quick shout out to Jacob Simmons, one of the Central running backs. He had like 350 yards running and like 5 touchdowns against Racine Park.
Did he have 5 touchdowns or like 5 touchdowns?
He had 5 touchdowns. He had around 350 yards running.
That's a good game.
Jace, what's the quarterback's name from IT?
His name is LJ. Not sure on his last name, but he did have about 250 yards on the ground with
300 he had.
Oh yeah, 300. About 350 yards on the ground
And
rushing and 3 touchdowns. And our running back Justice Lovelace had about $160 on the ground with 2 touchdowns.
Jeez, who'd you guys play? The CYC 49ers?
Some team from Madison.
Holy
you,
cow.
Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette. Yeah.
Oh, Lafayette.
Anything else, Petey?
Nah, man, school's just right around the corner. So
Just around the corner.
Keep your COVID fingers crossed.
Oh, jeez.
Ed, make sure you're staying away from those school zones.
Yeah, I go way around the school zones. I know what the dates are.
Okay. So
dates. Willie.
What?
Closing thoughts.
Do I get to be a field monitor this weekend?
Yes.
if
Come
you
see
want,
me.
Come out. Give me let the time you want to come. You can come out and I'll give you a time.
What do I have to do?
We'll look after.
All right.
Okay.
Come see me. I'm in charge of the field.
So what we got going this weekend?
Battle on the Border. We talked about it. Yeah, Battle on the Border at Anderson Field, Soccer Fields in Kenosha. Come out, check it out. We'll have food. brats, burgers, hot dogs. We're gonna have Durango's Pizza there.
Oh,
Also, Kona Ice will be there all weekend.
Shave Ice.
Nothing Bunt Cakes will be there on Saturday.
Oh.
We'll also have kettle corn and lemonade available, I believe.
How
And
about
I think that's all we have for food. We'll have soccer too. There'll be soccer on ages U8, 7-year-olds all the way through high school.
This is just girls, right?
No, boys
This
and
is
girls.
boys and girls?
through 14, and then up above that just girls because the boys are in season.
their season? Yeah,
In
their season
So,
started. Yeah.
Did you guys ever get that trophy conundrum fixed?
trophy conundrum.
I thought you were having a hard time ordering trophies.
Medals.
I didn't take care of that. Vlaco did.
Is it fixed?
It's out of my hands, man.
Bag tags.
No, they wanted. We should have stuck to the bag tags.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
My opinion, and this is fine, but here's the thing: they want to give medals to all the kids U10 and under. I said let's just give them bag tags, save a few bucks, and the participation medal thing is because you can't. It's a rule in soccer in that age they cannot have winners. It has to just be able to play 3 games, and the games are over, and then everybody goes home with a medal.
In
So
the
U10,
pre-academy.
Whoa.
You
They don't
in,
even
in the
keep score?
academies.
no, U10 and under, you do, but you don't. The refs just kind of ref, and that's it. They have refs, which I think it's a waste of money for refs. Why have refs? You not just have a parent ref. Who cares? I mean, it's just, or the coaches just can take care of.
I think it's just to get kids assimilated to having
I
an
understand, but
independent person on the field that they don't know.
yeah,
That's good.
I understand the real young ages, but 9 and 10-year-olds,
Yeah.
especially 9 and 10-year-old boys, you got to be kidding me. They're so competitive.
Yeah.
Dude, Petey, you hit your peak at like 9. That was it.
That was probably 8.5.
What just got
That's
played?
what she said.
There's a joke for that.
beef stroganoff.
That was pretty good.
Are we done so we can get to Ted Lasso?
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Real comedy.
What you just asked me a question though? Oh yeah, the tournament this week coming out Saturday and Sunday, Friday at night 5 to 8, but then Saturday, Sunday from 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to about 7:30 p.m. at Anderson Soccer Fields. There'll be some games in Amici, so come out check out the games on the turf. So come on out, check it out.
Hey, real fast. I started to binge watch Suits. By the way,
Is
I'd
it
never
good?
seen it. It's on AMC, but now it's
I've heard of
on
it.
HBO Max or Plus, whatever. So I sat through the first like 4 episodes, and yeah, it's actually really good.
And then after dark, you switch over to Cinemax.
Ooh,
Skinemax.
Cinemax after
Yeah.
dark.
Emmanuel goes to the soccer tournament.
All right, wrap it up here.
Beef stroganoff.
So once again, we are the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. For all the guys here, Petey, Willie, Eric, and Ed, have a great week. Good luck in your fantasy drafts. They're coming up. If not, next week we'll have our NFL preview. So take care and have a good week.
I hate goodbyes. Sorry, folks. Park's closed.
What happened? I blacked out.
Because we did something today that no one thought we could do, including us. So we're going out, we're celebrating, and we're going to rub it in this city's face.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome. Bye, Felicia.
Kids, there's Big Ben and there's Parliament.
I'd give them more buys and highs.
Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
Feels so good.